we're live. We're live on YouTube. Good evening to you, YouTube, and welcome to the program, Politics Matter JA, with your host, Hello Neighbor, and Caroline. Good evening to you, Caroline. Hello. Hello. Hello, Caroline. She's gone. All right, great.
Hi, neighbor. Good evening.
Well, Caroline, if the listeners are tuning into YouTube, then that same picture is up on screen.
Well, neighbor,
Yes.
I actually went over there.
Yeah. Did you see it?
Well, you were calling me, so I had to turn back. I didn't understand.
Well, I'll give you 2 seconds to go and look at yourself premiering on. I have a picture of Harry too, and of course, of Scratchy. So as soon as they come up, I'll have their picture live on YouTube. Okay, so my YouTube audience will be able to see my producer live tonight. Yes, there she is, the producer of the program, Caroline, live. She's on TikTok, and I'm sure that you wanted to see her. Did you see? Did you see it, ma'am? You're looking nice.
I
Oh,
did,
yes. Okay, great. All right.
but I noticed you did not put up the link that I asked you to put up, and you managed to put up a picture,
Well,
neighbor.
I think the link is somewhere there. I'm trying to figure it out. The link is somewhere there though. I'll
Well,
get it. I'll
could
get
you
it out.
could you please send it to me on WhatsApp so I could send it to the moderators over there?
Okay. All right. We'll see if we can do that. But how you doing? Today's Friday. You had a great day.
Had a great day, neighbor. It's just very hot. So other than that, I'm doing all right. How
Doing.
about you?
Well, catch a nap, and it was quite a busy day for me. I spent quite a bit of time trying to figure out the network and the technology, giving me a little problem, but I'll get there.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Well, I thought you would have mastered it today. Listeners, while they were speaking, could you please repost the live, tap and share, and the heart knees, please. The heart knees, you can find that at the top where it has that join sign next to the hello neighbor.
Sorry, Caroline. The,
Could
the
you
people are
please?
going crazy over YouTube. Is that Caroline? Hi, you're looking so good. They're
Yeah,
going.
thank you so
They're
much,
going crazy
YouTube.
over there. Yeah, it's Caroline. Yeah, it's Caroline. Everybody.
And
Yeah.
for YouTube, if you like my picture, please press that X sign at the top and give us the thumbs up over there. And remember to subscribe to our channel and TikTok. As I was saying before, welcome everybody. Remember to press that join button at the top, and then you will see where it says here to send a heart knees. I think it costs like a penny. So please, I have 140 people here. Can I get 100 heartbeats tonight, please?
Mm-hmm.
It would mean so much. Yes, yes, neighbor. I'm sorry about that.
No, no, not a problem. Not a problem. It's just that the YouTube people are just getting crazy over one little picture. What if you should open your camera? I'm sure you're gonna do that one day.
Yes, neighbor. One of these days,
When you come off your
maybe
vacation.
someone send me a lion. I would.
Oh yes.
If I get a lion, I will open my camera.
Look at that. Yes, she needs a line to open her camera. Well, Caroline, I'm gonna go ahead.
Okay,
Okay.
let's. Yes, definitely. Listeners, please press that white arrow at the bottom there, bottom right corner, and then that yellow circle and repost the live, please. And I'm still waiting for the heart knees TikTok. Please send them on. Thank you so much. Have a great show,
Thank
neighbor.
you so much
And
too.
thank you so much for liking me, YouTube. Remember to give the thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you so much. I hope you all enjoy the
When
show.
when some when some Sylvester is saying that you are to do it, open the camera. Okay. When some she needs a line to do that. All right. Okay. The Jamaica Labour Party has called Isat Buchanan to resign. That's the Jamaica Labour Party. The Jamaica Labour Party is calling upon Isat Buchanan to resign. Now, Mr. Isat Buchanan made some comments on his TikTok show, and here are the comments.
The government that you vote for send the Jamaica Constabulary Force to lock up the men who them know say if a dirt, cause when me build my house, but when the government that you vote for send the Jamaica Constabulary Force, but when
well those are the comments. Here are the comments from Mr. Buchanan. He made those comments on his TikTok show. Here are the comments from Mr. Buchanan.
live up off of some house and I figure you. And when him put him plaque on the house, then him I figure you back. Rip it off when you're done, because if them not giving you back house, Tova can't win down there. Right now, anywhere should there be a twet. Prime Minister have to go keep cabinet meeting and no say she have to give you back in the house. And we now ease up off of them neck. Because government are creatures of the constitution. And the human rights run this, the humans run this. Wanna bet me if you think I lie, me I tell. So someone will never up there. Take out 1 foot on the bed, broke it off and carry it up there and say, see where left here? Yeah. Choppy line upon them, because anybody will in a the place where them bulldoze, you have to get back a house out of government. And it now going to be no trailer. Bet you get land. I bet you know that.
Okay. Now, those were the comments that Mr. Buchanan made. And the Jamaica Labour Party today called on Mr. Buchanan to resign. Neighbor rights. What do you think about that call? What do you think about that call by the Labour Party for Mr. Buchanan to resign? I'm going to take you back to the last. I'm sorry about that. Where Mr. Dennis Meadows made similar comments.
And we go now to reactions to this.
I want you to listen to this report coming out of TVJ about 2 years ago. Listen to it.
Sacking of Dennis Meadows as the PNP standard bearer for Northern Trelawney after he endorsed scamming at a party meeting. Anthony.
All right. So what I'm going to play for you now is the removal of Mr. Dennis Meadows by party leader Mark Golding over comments Dennis Meadows made endorsing scamming. Watch it. Listen on.
Log has the details.
Mr. Meadows was sacked by the People's National Party less than 24 hours after this video went viral. Especially one you call them French chopper. He can speak openly. I have no problem with a man if he want chop. Because them choppers during slavery. In a release Thursday, PNP President Mark Golding said the continuation of Mr. Meadows as the party standard bearer for Northern Trelawney was untenable in light of his egregious remarks.
All right. Golding at the time said that Mr. Meadows' position was untenable. Mark Golding said that Mr. Meadows' position was untenable. In other words, Golding could not at that time support Mr. Meadows for comments about chopping the line. The Jamaica Labour Party is now calling for Mr. Meadows to resign. I want to take the tape through and then I'll come back and make some comments.
Marks, given that scamming is one of Jamaica's most serious national security challenges. Mr. Golding said his decision should serve as a warning to all who serve in the PNP under his leadership. He says the party is demanding higher standards of accountability, adding that Jamaica will no longer tolerate weak, unprincipled leaders who say one thing but do another. Civil society groups have been reacting to the developments. Human rights group Jamaicans for Justice, while welcoming the news, had questions. Michael Jackson is executive director.
Notwithstanding that the People's National Party has acted, one must raise the question whether or not the PNP was in fact aware of the video prior to it becoming public yesterday. And if that were the case, then reasonable questions must be asked. What is expected of political leaders and the political parties, that if an action, something that is questionable and troubling, does not meet with public outcry, would they have acted on their own?
For anti-corruption watchdog National Integrity Action, politicians, like other members who hold public office, must be held to account for their actions.
The bar must be set as high as possible. We must have persons of unquestionable integrity seeking to represent us in Parliament. It cannot be the same approach every day where we say something and then apologize because of the impact it has had. Tom don't but Tom no fool. And so there must be consequences. And if it is that he has been removed, then well done.
Mr. Meadows resigned from the JLP in March 2022. He joined the PNP in October of that year. Anthony Lugg, TVJ News.
Thank you, TVJ. Now, that happened to Mr. Meadows 2 years ago. I want you to listen to the General Secretary of the People's National Party, Dr. Dayton Campbell, on this matter. Listen to Campbell. Listen to him. Going back to a little history, going back.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. PNP caretaker Dennis Meadows removed as party's provisional candidate for North.
I see one of my listeners saying one was a caretaker and one is an MP. That is precisely the point, sir. Precisely the point. You don't think that the MP ought to be held to a greater account? Let's get into it.
I'm Shanella Pullen. Here are the details. The People's National Party PNP has removed Dennis Meadows as its caretaker candidate for Northern Trelawney Division. This following remarks from Mr. Meadows recently endorsing scamming. This is a video which landed Dennis Meadows in hot water with the PNP.
Especially one you call them French chopper. Let me tell you straight up. And he can speak openly. I have no problem with a man if you want chop. Because them chop us during slavery.
Okay, so the video is not good. But what he actually said, you know, I have no problem with chopping because then chop us during slavery, so we chop them back. Go ahead.
The only problem with chopping is when you bingo and you score. Use the money wisely.
Yes. And he goes on to say that the only problem is that when you bingo, in other words, when you chop and you get through, you must use the money wisely. All right?
Chop yourself. Yes. Open up this face. Yes. Make sure mommy look good. Yes. Make sure your baby mother look good. Yes. But don't take the money and use energy and wash car.
So him say, set up your mother, set up your baby mother, make sure so them look good. Not take the chopping money, buy Hennessy and wash car. Mr. Meadows was removed in 24 hours by the PNP. Listen to what the General Secretary said.
24 hours later, he's got the boot.
24 hours later, Mr. Meadows was kicked out. You know why? The PNP was seeking power. Now, there is a similar statement made by Mr. Buchanan, and 24 hours have passed. As a matter of fact, 48 hours have passed. And I'll know, not a pip out of the PNP. Listen to the General Secretary of the People's National Party on the Meadows matter. Listen to it.
Discussions around the matter. The fact that open support was given for what is criminal conduct, and even a recommendation was made as to what they should do with the illicit proceeds. We are of the opinion that we could have come to no other decision but to make a change in the candidates.
In a statement this morning, Party President Mark Golding says Mr. Meadows' continuation as the candidate is untenable in light of his remarks. He says scamming is one of Jamaica's most serious national security challenges.
All right, dear Golding. You hear what Golding said? You hear what Golding said? Scamming is one of Jamaica's major security challenges. And Golding said that. I wonder what Golding has said now. Golding?
Says Mr. Meadows' continuation as the candidate is untenable in light of his remarks. He says scamming is one of Jamaica's most serious national security challenges. To other PNP members, Mr. Golding said, let this precedent be a warning. He said,
right. Let this precedent be a warning. That's what Mr. Golding said. In other words, when a precedent is set, it means this is the standard. This is the standard by which the People's National Party will be judged. Mr. Golding set the standard. The precedent was set. And therefore, Mr. Buchanan, if Mr. Buchanan is not removed, then Mr. Golding himself will have to offer his own resignation, because he would have absolutely no credibility left. I want you to listen to it again because it is up.
YouTube, good evening and welcome to everyone. Could you please press that X button, and give us that thumbs up over there? And for TikTok, could you please send the heart me's and repost the live, please?
If Mr. Isat Buchanan does not resign, Dr. Campbell must resign. Mark Golding cannot be the opposition leader, because Mark Golding's credibility would not value not a thing. And I want my listeners to neighbor rights, just hashtag Isat must resign. Isat cannot go back to the parliament. Cannot go back to the parliament after these comments. The same knife will stick Dennis Meadows must stick Isat. The PNP has found itself tonight in a quandary. I want you to listen to the matter again. Listen.
My only problem with the shopping is when you bingo and you score. Use the money wisely. Set up yourself. Work on these days. Make sure money look good. Make sure you pay the mother look good. But don't take the money and use energy and wash car.
24 hours later, he's got the boot.
These are discussions around the matter. The fact that open support was given for what is criminal conduct and even a
Open support was given for what is criminal conduct. That's what the General Secretary of the PNP said. Open support given for criminal conduct.
recommendation was made as to what they should do with the illicit proceeds. We are of the opinion that we could have come to no other decision but to make a change in the candidates.
In a statement this morning, Party President Mark Golding says Mr. Meadows' continuation as the candidate is untenable in light of his remarks. He says scamming is one of Jamaica's most serious national security challenges. To other PNP members, Mr. Golding said, let this precedent be a warning. He said, quote, we are demanding higher standards of accountability. Jamaica will no longer tolerate weak, unprincipled leaders who say one thing.
All right, Mr. Golding. Mr. Golding said, we are demanding higher standard of accountability. Jamaica will no longer tolerate weak, unprincipled leaders who say one thing but do another. Mr. Golding, the ball is in your court now. Jamaicans deserve better and we will give it to them. Mr. Golding, please call Mr. Isat Buchanan, sir, and tell him that you are removing him from his shadow cabinet position. Now, you can't remove him as member of parliament. We all know that. We're not asking for Mr. Buchanan to resign as member of parliament. That is left up to the people of Eastern Portland. But Mr. Buchanan ought to be removed as a member of the shadow cabinet of Jamaica. And if you don't do it, Mr. Golding, then these words will haunt you and we will play them back. Jamaica will no longer tolerate weak, unprincipled leaders who say one thing and do another. Were you referring to yourself?
But do another. Jamaicans deserve better, and I will give it to them. End of quote. Mr. Meadows yesterday apologized for the comments and acknowledged it was out of place. Mr. Meadows resigned from the JLP in March 2022. He joined the PNP now.
There you have it. There you have it. Now, the Jamaica Labour Party is calling on Mr. Buchanan to resign. Here is the report coming out of the party.
So someone will never up there, take our 1 foot on the bed, buck it off and carry it up there and say, see the left here? Yeah, choppy line upon them, because anybody will in a that the place where them bulldoze, you have to get back a house out of government. And it now going to be no trailer. I bet you get land. I bet you know that.
The Jamaica Labour Party is calling for the resignation of opposition spokesman on human rights, Isat Buchanan. This after Buchanan encouraged Jamaicans to falsely claim that their homes were damaged during the recent demolition exercise in Cooper's Pen. Buchanan made the comments during a TikTok live on Wednesday, where he was discussing the government's response to the residents affected by the demolition. In a statement on Friday, the Jamaica Labour Party says Buchanan's position in the opposition shadow cabinet is untenable. The Jamaica Labour Party is also accusing PNP President Mark Golding of failing to act over the comments made. The JLP says Buchanan encouraged people who were not affected by the demolition to falsely claim property damage in order to benefit from government assistance, including housing. The party is also calling on Golding to say whether he supports the position taken by his opposition spokesman. The JLP says Golding's silence on the matter raises questions about his suitability for national leadership. The party says it is particularly concerned that the comments came from a lawyer and a member of the opposition shadow cabinet, who it says should not be encouraging citizens to engage in unlawful conduct to obtain benefits from the state. Mr. Isat Buchanan, position in the shadow cabinet of the People's National Party, is untenable. Former South Trelawney chairman Dennis Meadows was removed by then PNP, General Secretary and Party President Mark Golding, and barred from running in the seat. The reason given at the time were that the comments that Mr. Meadows made were seen as encouraging lawlessness. Golding's statement at the time was about leadership with integrity, and that the PNP will not tolerate that kind of conduct. So a standard was set publicly by the PNP. Public officials who appear to encourage the breaking of the law will face consequences. That was the standard set by the People's National Party. Now, we have a member of parliament on TikTok saying, chop the line, to residents in a crisis. Chop the line in the context of Jamaica. Chop the line means to defraud, to scam the system and get ahead. That is coming from a member of the legislature, a member of parliament, a member of the People's National Party. You can't sit in any higher house than Gordon House in Jamaica. Dennis Meadows was a caretaker. Isat Buchanan is a member of parliament. The Jamaica Labour Party is arguing that Mr. Buchanan should be removed. Because if that standard applied to Meadows, it should apply to Mr. Buchanan, Dayton Campbell, Jamaican for Justice. Why is the same standard not applying here? Because you can't have one rule for your opponent and another for your own. If integrity means that Mr. Meadows' comments were reckless, then the silence of the opposition now looks like integrity is for Meadows, not for Isaac. And that echoes trust. And that is why people stop believing principles and start believing it's just tribalism, politics. Because at that time, Golding wanted to become prime minister. So he had to show something, some level of integrity. But that prize is no longer within reach. An opposition leader isn't just the critic. He's the alternative prime minister. How will he govern? If Floyd Green had said these comments, could Floyd Green remain in the cabinet? If Darrell Vaz made these same comments, could Darrell Vaz continue to serve as the Minister of Transportation? If Favour Williams, the Finance Minister, had encouraged Jamaicans to chop the line, could she be the Minister of Finance tonight? What about Senator Dana Morris Dixon? If Senator Dana Morris Dixon had gone and encouraged Jamaicans to chop the line, she would have to remove herself as Minister of Education. I would have called for it. If Nestor Morgan encouraged Jamaicans to chop the line, I will not support him as Minister of Works. If Dr. Chang tells Jamaican to chop the line, he cannot be the Minister of National Security. If Kamina Johnson-Smith encourages Jamaicans to chop the line, she has to take herself out of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Why is Mr. Buchanan still sitting in the shadow cabinet? Jamaicans, we don't have no standard? Is this what we have come to? Silence is a decision, you know. Because silence signals what behavior you are willing to normalize in your party. And let me tell you something, you see, Jamaicans, we cannot normalize this. We cannot normalize this type of behavior. This is not a political matter. This is a matter of the values of the society. What type of Jamaica do we want to build? Because it's not the same day that leaf dropping up river bottom rotten. Right? And it only takes a small hole to sink a ship. As big as the US warships are, if they don't patch a small hole in it, it will sink. And Jamaica, you better be warned. You better be warned that if we continue to tolerate this type of behavior from our leaders, our country is going to go to the dogs. And I expect the Prime Minister at some point to speak on these matters. There has to be a standard by which we hold our representative in Parliament. As we do the judiciary, as we do the clergy, as we do, there is no principal in Jamaica that could encourage his or her students to chop the line, and that principal remains in their position. What type of country are we raising up? We've spent billions of dollars. You know how scamming has affected Jamaica and Jamaicans? And we sit down and we just move on. Because the longer the silence is on Mr. Buchanan, the more it reads as tolerance. We cannot tolerate this, man. We cannot tolerate it. We must not tolerate it. It is wrong. This is not the Jamaica that we want our children to grow up in. People elected to Parliament or to have a particular standard of behavior. You don't encourage Jamaicans to chop the line. You don't encourage Jamaicans into criminality as a legislator, as a parliamentarian. It is wrong. It is wrong. And if you come up in a chat tonight, come tell me say it's not wrong. Listen, man, it is wrong. What type of country are we building? We have just gotten a hold on the crime situation, right? Hundreds of Jamaican young men have died because of this scamming. Many of them are in prison tonight because of this scamming. And we have a member of parliament telling people to chop the line. The Hello Neighbor show endorses the call of the Jamaica Labour Party. And I want my listeners to stand up with us and demand better. Demand that this nonsense comes to an end. We Jamaican people have to stand up. We have to determine what type of country it is that we want to live in and what we want our children to grow up in. I am a father, and I could not tell my sons that. This is what we have accepted. This is normal. It is not normal. It is wrong. Mr. Buchanan, you are wrong. People's National Party. If you expect to lead Jamaica, you have to do better than this. Where are our standards in this country? They are falling, they are falling, they are falling. This new breed of parliamentarians that have
listeners, asking you to tap the screen, share the live, and repost the live. Send a heart me's. And YouTube, could you please give us the thumbs up and subscribe, please?
And what you have, two men who encourage Jamaicans to chop the line were seen with the leader of the opposition in Cooper's Pen. One on his right and one on his left. If the PNP defends the visit to Cooper's Pen as standing with the people, but says nothing about chop the line, then it is a party that should never get close to Jamaica House. The standard of leadership with integrity cannot be seasonal. Leadership with integrity cannot be seasonal. In 2020 or 2024, 2025, not 25. 2 years ago, Mark Golding removed Dennis Meadows for comments that undermined the law. That was right then. It was the right call. And the country respected it. Today, an MP from his party has publicly encouraged residents to defraud a system. The Jamaican people are now waiting to see if the same standard of integrity applies, or if it only applies when it is convenient. Mr. Golding, you cannot be a man of convenience, sir. You have to be a man of integrity. For once, Golding, show some leadership, no man. When there was a voice note, you went up to the university with the wishy-washy statement. Turn up on your foot, no Golding. It's not clear as day, brethren. It's not clear as day. Silence will not protect the party, you know. It protects cynicism. And the people of Jamaica deserve leaders who fight for them without teaching them to cut corners to survive. We cannot teach our people to cut corners to survive. We cannot encourage the playing by the rules. You get shafted. The Prime Minister of Jamaica, Prime Minister of Jamaica,
Pick them up.
Prime Minister of Jamaica made some comments. I will play those for you on the whole matter of what happened in Cooper's Pen. And I think the Prime Minister's comments were very well and deserves to be examined. The Prime Minister has not yet visited, but I'm sure that the Prime Minister is onto it. Here is the Prime Minister comments on the matter.
I am unequivocal and very clear in not endorsing squatting and the illegal occupation of land. As your Prime Minister, I have been unequivocal and very clear. I do intend to address the specific matter when I have details of the matter. The matter is quite complex and it involves court rulings for which I need to be properly advised on those court rulings before I speak.
The Prime Minister was speaking at a house opening in Southwest St. Anne on Friday. Dr. Holness also points to what he describes as the government's frugal and responsible use of the country's resources. He says that carefulness allowed for the prompt assistance from the Office of Disaster and Emergency Preparedness and the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. He further notes that the government's caution in responding to the issue is due to the possible future implications.
We will have to find ways to support those families who are impacted. But whatever our response is, we have to be careful that we don't set a precedence that is not sustainable.
There you have it. The Prime Minister suggesting that he does not support squatting, and of course that he is getting further brief into what happened down there in Cooper's Pen. And when he is further briefed on the matter, he is suggesting that he will speak further on it. The matter of the Cooper's Pen demolition continues to occupy the news, and I am going to be going to the callers very soon because I want to hear as much from them in terms of their views on this matter and anything else that is on their mind. The Jamaica Labour Party is also rejecting what it describes as another deceptive attempt by the People's National Party to link the government to the Cooper's Pen land turmoil. In a statement on Friday, the PNP suggested that the Housing Ministry has an enforceable caveat logged against the title of the Cooper's Pen property. But chairman of the Jamaica Labour Party's Communications Task Force, Senator Abka Fitzhenley, says this is yet another example of the opposition's willingness to spread misinformation. Here is Mr. Fitzhenley. Let me see if I can get Mr. Fitzhenley.
In Jamaica has twice affirmed and reaffirmed by the Court of Appeal in 2016 the rights of a private developer, as the statement from the PNP ignores the fact that subsequent to 2012, the Supreme Court in Jamaica has twice affirmed and reaffirmed by the Court of Appeal in 2016 the rights of a private developer as the lawful owner of the property. In fact, the Court of Appeal dismissed the appeal of the Minister of Housing under the PNP administration and upheld the Supreme Court's finding that the government cannot compulsory acquire private lands in order to transfer and interest the people who are occupying without the permission of the lawful owner.
Senator Fitzhenley emphasizes that the government has no legal or factual basis on which to challenge the decision of the courts regarding lands owned by private individuals.
The PNP is aware that their administration had lost its court case, which involved the private developer, and all matters were fully ventilated and settled by the court. The attempt by the PNP to make demands of the Prime Minister and link the government to the land is yet another example of the PNP's willingness to make untruthful statements in a bid for political mileage.
There you have it from the chairman of the Jamaica Labour Party Task Force, Senator Apka Fitzhenley. Now, let me make a couple comments on that before I take your calls. The courts ruled that the occupation was unlawful, and it issued a notice. Then the state enforcing that order is upholding the rule of law. Once the courts rule that the occupation is unlawful, the state cannot but enforce what the courts have ruled. Jamaicans, this, although affects people's lives, we cannot but be logical about how we discuss the matter. It's called the rule of law. And the government of Jamaica must uphold the rule of law. Without that, we get might make right. And no one's tenure is safe. Not renters, not farmers, not homeowners. The right of the landowner is the rule of law. Take your emotions out of it for a minute. What can be argued is that we have to have a balance. The law answers who owns the land. The law answers that question. Dignity answers how do we treat the people while enforcing the law. Those are two separate issues. They are not the same question. And I really wished if we had discussed this matter in this way. The law answers who owns the land. Dignity answers how do we treat the people living on the land while enforcing the law. Because make no mistake about it, the law have to be enforced. The question in Cooper's Pen is how to enforce the law while preserving the dignity of the citizens. And so this political blame game is not going to take us anywhere. Not going to take us anywhere at all. Producer?
Yes, neighbor.
I am prompting you to open the lines. I'm ready to
Of course.
have some discussion.
Could you please read my messages, please? YouTube, could you please press that X tab at the top and then just give us that thumbs up over there, please? Thanks. TikTok, could you please send a heart, please, and repost the live? Thanks.
All right. Thank you very much. As soon as you're ready for me, producer, let through the listeners. Let them come and have their say. Let me see if I can get my my headphones. Let me see if I can get Untold Stories. Good night to you. Good night to you. Good night to you.
Listeners,
Go ahead, Caroline.
a request.
I'm sorry. Hold on there for me, sir. You're breaking up a little bit. Hold on. Live with you, sir. Hello? Hello, sir? Untold Stories, go ahead. Not hearing him. Hello, sir? Oh, why I tell you. Hello?
Moment. What we need to pay attention to is to look at the decisions that was handed down by the court and that which was upheld by the court. When we look at what happened and what the court says about the approach of the government towards trying to have a stay, trying to use the Housing Act to try get to claim the by the same PNP administration in 93. And then in 2012, when a problem has been ongoing since 2007, they came in and tried to pervert the course of justice because there was a rightful owner for the property that could have been identified that was paying tax for the property. Hence, the judge would not rule in the favor of the owner, because one of the things we need to realize is that when the owner went to court with this matter and the government, the owner had to show to the court that they have ventilated every avenue before coming to court trying to get these people removed off their property. These are the things that we need to notice. And if this and all of what the person, the holder on the title, Mr. Chisholm, as it is said, because he was the one that was in court versus the people or the government, he basically had to prove that he basically ventilated every avenue and wasn't reaching anywhere to get the government to act. The government when you hear Luther and Cousin coming about now that the government should enforce the 1977 Act that was implemented by the Michael Manley administration. The question is, why didn't they implement it at that time if it could have been done the way they are talking it, rather than going to court? They're trying to continue to mislead the people, disguising themselves in masquerade suit, which is their orange suit, going out there, giving the people that they are for them, which is a lie, because they are the one that causes the people to be suffering and having in the demise that they are in today, because they mislead them and they didn't give these people no idea or intention, put in effort, that it would basically reach to this stage. Them give the people them false hope, and they are now trying to blame government. Yes, it's government, but it is the PNP administration that blunder with the people in life, just because of political gain. It was only because of that reason, only the gain and the popularity of holding Northern Trilla many years. Because who knows, Scoop and Spend is a strong PNP division, or a strong PNP era, which come under the Falmouth division, basically. So they're coming out, playing mind games. It's not gonna work because Jamaicans' eyes are open to what is happening. The next thing that we need to focus on, and before we go on, some of the statement that the judge made, I was listening to Emily Shield today, and I take a couple notes because I was very surprised at these things. One of them is that the judge said, given made by the court to assist the defendant, those are the people with the money who seems to be misled. This is what the judge says. Who seems to be misled by politicians squatting on private property. Notwithstanding the act, the unlawful act, the judge said this court empathize with the people after realizing that they have been misled. This is what the court is saying. It was the PNP that brought them there, brought the matter to court, tried to have a stay on the eviction of the people because Mr. Chisholm secured an eviction for them to move. And when it's time for them to move, the PNP brought the matter to court to try to stop that. So that's one of the reasons why the court was saying they are perverting the course of justice. Because justice was ongoing, the law was enforced. It was in the court. It was an attempt. And what it was only a delayed tactics by the PNP to give the people false hope, giving them the impression, and that is one of the reasons why more people went to live on the property after.
Yeah. Okay. Let us shift this a little bit, Mr. Matsik. The Jamaica Labour Party is calling for Mr. Buchanan's resignation. You recall that Mr. Meadows had to resign over similar comments 2 years ago. What do you make of the PNP's stance right now and the PNP silence?
The PNP is only playing with integrity and using the word integrity, to try to hide what their true definitions are. The PNP have got no integrity. Mark Golding have got no integrity because it was coming up to an election.
Yes.
And he wants to seem as if he is a clean man. Remember at the time, he was saying Andrew Owners doesn't have no integrity because it's integrity.
I don't know.
Certified statutory declaration. And there were a lot of rumors about other people who was basically, don't open your mic when somebody is talking on this program. It's an orderly one. You will get your chance. It's one where neighbor, where the PNP knows the position that they hold in this regards. And the position that they hold is that they don't care. No. And not only that, you have to remember, I've said it before, Mark Golden is walking on eggshell in the PNP party now. He have to be careful. He can't try to destabilize people. He must seek support from knowing that a leadership contest is coming on. So it's always about him and his ego. That is the reason why you see he act the way he does, neighbor.
Yeah.
It's similar to what Louis said last night. He's seeking attention. He still doesn't get himself in the mass of Jamaica. He still can't sell himself. Mark Golden still can't sell himself. So what he's basically doing now, trying to just milk the kitty. Just like how them because when do basically scam the government, the taxpayer, them collect 24 million every year now, Because he's not doing an effective job as a opposition leader either. I said it to you that what Mark Golden's sentiment that he shared when he was in Cooper's Bend is similar to what Isat Buchanan says. The only difference is he didn't say it in the word that he used. He was trying to mild it in a way to give an impression that he went there on the basis that he cares for these people. It was his administration that, and I think that he was the justice minister, if I'm not wrong. I think he was the justice minister.
Yes.
Or the finance minister. He was the justice minister at that time when this matter went to court.
Yeah, but I want to focus. I want to focus. Hold on there for me. Let me just remind the listeners of the Dennis Meadows matter, courtesy of TVJ. Listen.
JLP has removed Dennis Meadows as its caretaker candidate for Northern Trelawney Division. This following remarks from Mr. Meadows recently endorsing scamming. This is a video which landed Dennis Meadows in hot water with the PNP.
Especially when you call them friend chopper. Let me tell you straight up. And he can speak openly. I have no problem with a man if he want chop. Because they chop us during slavery. So nothing wrong if we chop them up. My only problem with the chopping is when you bingo and you score. Use the money wisely. Set up yourself. Open a business. Make sure mommy look good. Make sure your baby mother look good. But don't take the money and use energy and wash car.
24 hours later, he's got the boot.
We've had discussions around the matter. The fact that open support was given for what is criminal conduct, and even a recommendation was made as to what they should do with the illicit proceeds. We are of the opinion that we could have come to no other decision but to make a change in the candidates.
In a statement this morning, party president Mark Golding says Mr. Meadows' continuation as the candidate is untenable in light of his remarks. He says scamming is one of Jamaica's most serious national security challenges. To other PNP members, Mr. Golding said, let this precedent be a warning. He said, quote, we are demanding higher standards of accountability. Jamaica will no longer tolerate weak, unprincipled leaders who say one thing but do another. Jamaicans deserve better, and I will give it to them, end of quote. Mr. Meadows yesterday apologized for the comments and acknowledged it was out of place. Mr. Meadows resigned from the JLP March 2022. He joined the PNP in October of that year. He then moved up the hierarchy of the party, becoming chairman of the constituency and then caretaker candidate. Meanwhile, the calls are getting louder for the prime minister.
There you have it, Matsik. So the People's National Party at the time said that we are demanding higher standard of accountability. Jamaica will no longer tolerate weak, unprincipled leaders who say one thing but do another. Jamaicans deserve better, and I will give it to them. How can Mr. Golding not ask Mr. Buchanan to step aside in light of the precedent set with Meadows?
He's gonna come out and say something or do something based on pressure. He did it with Dennis Garden when they were talking about the job debt, when he had him removed from the shadow cabinet. It was under pressure and the shock call of civil society. Now, as we know, these civil society group, they're not going to call for no higher standard when it comes to the PNP. You understand? Because we have seen the pattern of them and how they operate. So we don't expect that from them. Now, what we are dealing with here now is a governance problem. The question we should ask ourselves as a country, do we think PNP is fit to govern us? Is our ambition, is the standard to what PNP is setting at the moment? These are very important questions that we should take introspective look in ourselves. Let us take introspective look in our leaders' attitude and the way they display themselves. We need to remember that international people is looking on. And if you are going to say that we are not going to accept weak leaders who will say one thing and do another. No, where is action? I remember, long time in politics, when say cock mouth kill cock. And I think at this moment, the rooster has come home. Exactly who the PNP are is what we are seeing today. No integrity, lack of integrity, no standard to hold anyone accountable. They only speak this just because they want to give the impression to Jamaican that they are a set of people of integrity. They are a set of bad breed.
Bad breed. Hold on there for me. Let me see if I can stay on the line. Nathaniel, go ahead.
You understand? There are bad breed set of people who doesn't have no good intention to uphold no standard for Jamaica. And what that does, it distracts investors from our country and the growth of our country. Because people are going to invest when we have our leader that promote corruption and not that. Do you think, neighbor, that the PNP at this moment care about what his member does? It doesn't. We have been seeing it with Nikisha Burchell. We have been seeing it with this, and this man holds none of these people accountable. It doesn't matter how the backlash comes. It doesn't matter how people feel. He does what he wants. He is Mark Golden. That's how he governs. The type of authoritarian dictatorship with no accountability. Because these people doesn't care how they govern. They just do things because it pleases who he think it's riling up. But who are those people? Is it the mass of Jamaica? I doubt that, neighbor. I doubt that Jamaica is the PNP is a last party, and the currency Morrison said it well when she stand up in the Senate and she said that they need to work out a 30-point plan to find out how they are going to ever reach back into the heart or the mind of the Jamaican people. And that is the reason why they are going in the gutter, because they think Jamaican mindset is a gutter mindset, neighbor. They are not lifting any standard in this nation for any example for the youths that are growing. The PNP is exhausting more and more the base of our electorate. It is the PNP that is the cause why people now got to vote, because people are saying, them are we have vote for. And that is where it is today, the set of people and with PNP. Let me say this, neighbor, and I need you to know.
No, I'm not hearing him at all. I don't know. No, not. Hold on, Matsik. Hold on, Matsik. Nathaniel, go ahead. Hold on, Matsik. Go ahead, Nathaniel. Nathaniel?
We are here talking about with a standard that is strong. That's then it was from this election. It was.
I don't know. It seems to be having a little bit of a technical problem. I'm not hearing Matsik at all. Are you hearing me, sir? Hello? I'm not hearing him at all. Oh boy, I tell you. Sometimes the internet.
This is a very sad day when we look on these leaders and the way they operate, and I think the Jamaica Labour Party did a very good thing when they called for his resignation. We have been talking about it, and I think now the Bar Association should act. I want to say something.
Hold on. Go ahead, sir.
1 second, please. Rastatin, just a second. Let's hear from Untold Stories, please.
Untold Stories, go ahead. What is wrong with these people, man? Untold Stories? Go ahead.
Good night. Good night.
Sir, you had 1 minute out of your time gone in the man. Come, go ahead.
Good night.
Good night, sir.
Good night. Yes, all right, so we're speaking about the persons in Trelawney who got evicted. So I'm saying
your background, sir, you have some noise there in your background.
Yes, so I can say that all of the issues that we face in this country, the Jamaican Labour Party has been actively trying to address those issues. When it comes to land and who owns land, there are a lot of people in Jamaica who are living on land that they do not own and don't have title for. The Jamaica Labour Party come up with something called the adjudication program, where those people who live on land and don't have title can have access to title, so they are aware of these things, right? The Jamaica Labour Party is giving away homes to the vulnerable people in the country. If you have land, you can get a house from the government. The government is aware that not everybody who needs the homes have access to land. So they said that, listen, we're going to expand the program and start to make land available under the social housing program. Also, that is something that the Prime Minister has spoken concerning himself. The Prime Minister also said in June that, listen, those land which are owned by government ministries and can be made available to the people will be made available to the people. It is a program that he said should have been rolled out already, but because there is a problem of equity, the program is not yet available to the people. So they are working out means of making those who cannot afford the 6 million and the 5 million price can still have access to those properties. So when it comes to land, the government is aware of the issues that the people are facing and is actively trying to fix them.
Yes, sir. You work with the government?
No.
You are.
I read newspaper.
Oh. Well. Let me get your comment on Mr. Buchanan's the call for Mr. Buchanan's resignation. What do you think about it?
Well, the resignation probably is too far. You're going to ask him to resign, but it is something that I believe that he should come and address. Maybe say something, apologize. Or
what you mean? What you mean the resignation? What you mean the resignation is too far? Too far from what? Not.
Well, it is not going to happen.
He's not going to resign as a member of the shadow cabinet?
No.
Then why did Mr. Meadows resign? Or why was Mr. Meadows removed?
Problem would have said different time.
So how, hold on. So Meadows' removal was mere politics.
Probably was a strategy or something to show the people that, listen. But I don't think Mr. Buchanan is going to resign. I think an apology would be most possible. It was very careless what he said. It was very careless. I was watching.
Let me ask you a question, dear sir. If a school principal stood up at a devotional exercise and told the students that, would you expect him to continue being principal there?
No. Well, no.
That they are to chop the line, sir?
Me personally wouldn't, but
No, are you me a ask?
no.
What about a superintendent of police? If a superintendent of police told a group of students to chop the line, you'd think that he could remain in that position?
No.
What about the minister of national security?
No.
So why do you have a standard for principals and government ministers and you don't have a standard for the opposition members?
But we're talking about the opposition and the position that it is in now and the condition that it is in now.
No, sir, but I'm asking you about standard. We have to have a standard for elected representative and people who serve at the very highest level.
But to my knowledge, the standard of the PMP has fallen way below ground level. Yes, it has gone way below ground level. And I blame it on the leader. From a long time, I said that Mark Golding is not the perfect fit to be leader.
Representative and people who serve at the very highest level.
But to my...
I see. Well,
I think you're going to get an apology, but not a resignation. If you get an apology, if.
Yeah. Well, thank you here, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes. Yes, boss.
Okay. Star Girl.
No, man.
Go ahead, Rasta Tim. Go ahead.
Greetings. I just want to exercise the thinking faculties just for a moment.
You want to do what, sir?
We have to do that right about now.
No, what are you saying? Hold on. What you say you're going to do?
We are exercising our thinking faculties.
Oh, thinking faculty. Okay. I heard something else.
Yes.
Go ahead.
All right. So what I'm asking now, and be rational. The politics in Jamaica. How does the politics in Jamaica as benefit the average citizen from 1962 till now? What significant of benefit has it contribute to the average citizen life? Not meaning no section of people. I'm talking about right across the board.
You're asking me that, sir?
Yes, sir. But
Okay.
I'm just coming.
Well, you have asked for your thinking faculty to be exercised. I ask you to exercise your own. And don't hold on, man. And don't ask rubbish.
All right.
You're asking foolishness, sir. The fact of the matter is that this country, sir, came through 300 years of colonialism, of slavery, enslavement. And then it was colonized. The people were slaves. And we got independence in 1962. And since 1962, you are going to tell me that we have not made any progress towards the people, sir? Then how do you hold on? How do you drive on roads? How do you go to hospitals? How do you benefit from the services that have been developed? You can criticize the progress we have made, but to suggest that we have made none is you not exercising those faculties that you're asking us to exercise.
All right. Listen to this now. The problem in Jamaica, it's a politician problem. The politician is the piece of the people who was the things that we are discussing now, the land issue. And I think that is something with them inherit. Because when you look on the constitution, which we live by, and to which them themselves become inherit, because the constitution in that time when it was present to the people wasn't consulted no time at all. And up till this present day.
Hold on. Just hold on a minute, no, man. Hold on, man. You know, sir, you were born into this world and you never consult your mother, you know, or your father. Because if you had gotten a chance to consult them, you probably would have gone somewhere else and you probably would look the way you look. Don't talk about consulting people on constitutions, because when the constitution are right me and your name bond. Okay? That's not how we run the world, and that's not how laws are made. That's not how democracy functions.
All right, I'm going to take it as you put it, but can I continue?
Yes, but I don't want you to just have a monologue, We're having a discussion. We have conversations over here.
Exactly. But if you allow me,
that's why I'm telling you we have conversations. I'm not going to just allow you to speak. We have to come in and clarify some things, eh?
Yeah. Remember the Constitution to which, remember now, Jamaica gained independence under the British Commonwealth. Alright? Jamaica Constitution is still until this present day is the same constitution from the colonizing.
No, sir, you're not correct. No, you're not correct, sir.
So why is it we have a governor general representing the head of the
but you are speaking in absolute, sir, and you're not correct. There have been amendments. Really? Yes, there have been amendments. Sir? But you say the same. It's not the same. Have you ever heard of the Charter?
All right, listen to this. The Constitution, tell me where in the Jamaica Constitution you have land reform policy.
Well, I don't know where in it you have land reform policy. That is something you are suggesting that we should have that, eh?
Then listen to me. If you have a politics, which is a system that a country governs by,
you know something to you. You know something, Rasta Tint. You vote.
If I vote, all the time.
You vote.
All the time.
You vote. You participate in the democracy.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Because it's my constitutional right.
Your dogma seems a bit difficult for me to discuss because you seem to have some beliefs that are rooted in certain philosophical ideas that is not within my scope to understand. I must tell you the truth. But I can give you some more time. I can give you some more time to make your point, and then we can move on.
All right. The point, the whole reality is this. You have a constitution which governs the country. You have politicians who goes into power. You understand? Into office, rather. And they take up leadership portfolio governing the country's affairs. Now, when you look at the situation of the people in the country and the land masses that exist, until from me, well, me now hold percent, I want a little bit me get. I still work with it and I use it. I know there is no such thing as land reform policy from either the green or the orange, which they present and share with the people.
That cannot be listen to me, sir. Listen to me. That is rubbish. If you need a piece of land in Jamaica to buy today, you can buy it. You can get it.
This is why we start from the constitutional standpoint. That need for rewrite.
Me say, sir, if you need piece of land to buy in a Jamaica, you can buy it. That is land reform. Hold on. That is in the constitution. You can legally acquire land. Yes, sir. You can get land to buy in a Jamaica and to develop and me myself buy a little piece of land in the country many years ago in a little piece of rock stone, sir. That you couldn't get that to do under colonial time. You couldn't do that. So that is land reform, sir.
All right. As far as me is concerned, that's my last point. As far as me is concerned, from 1962 till now, none of these two political parties has ever worked for the people in Jamaica. They work for the state, which is the British crown.
Oh God!
And we can't deny that. Some of we might be conceited, of course.
No.
Because who you swear to when you go to court
no,
for
sir.
justice?
That is rubbish.
Yeah,
that is
rubbish.
It is rubbish. You are talking nonsense. The fact that the man.
I expect you to tell me that. I don't expect no better still.
Why? No, but hold on. You are suggesting to me, sir, that independent Jamaica is working for which state? Which state?
We are only independent from the British pound, the English dollar. That's all.
Let me ask you a question, sir. And when you walk in Jamaica, don't you feel free?
Feel free?
Uh-huh.
How do you mean feel free?
When you are walk up and down, you can go get a job for yourself. You can go live anywhere you want to live. You can chat to one girlfriend, get her pregnant, married, start a business. You can do that.
constitution and the state of the environment.
Because you are suggesting that we are still tied to the colonial masters, and I'm saying to you, we are not.
Well, guess what? Maybe your eyes not capable to see it.
Well, let me take off my glass. Let me take off my glasses because maybe my glasses are blinding me. Tell me. My glasses are off. Allow me to see it now.
All right. The founder of the two political parties, they were Europeans. That is number one.
What, you know something's up? You know something? I don't know. Rasta, respect. Respect your ears, sir. Respect Rasta. Respect. Yeah. By the way, Rasta, you take a draw before you come up.
If me take a draw?
Yes.
I'm an artist, brother.
Me never asked you for.
But you said draw, so you have to specific.
Oh. A smoke.
A smoke. Why purpose of that?
give you the. You remember when you come up, you said we have to open up our what you say? You said you made a very.
Well, you see, all right. There's something going. I guess it not fit in well with you still, and we expect from we as a participant of the whole program. So we can't kill you for that because everybody see things different.
Yeah. No, I see.
Not everyone can see.
I see that little bit. And let me take a minute. Let me tell you this. You see, Rasta. I am not happy with the progress that Jamaica would have made over the last 64 years. I'm not happy. I think that we have not had the best leadership, especially coming from the PNP. I tell you the truth.
From one of these two.
I'm giving you my opinion. I know you can't take my opinion. Yeah, I'm giving you my opinion. I think that when you look at Jamaica's development in decades, between the 60s, the 70s, the 70s, the 80s, the 80s, the 90s, the 90s, the 2000s, a decade is 10 years. Clearly, Rasta, there are 2 decades in Jamaica's history, the 70s and the 90s. 3 decades, 30 years of PNP leadership, that all the information that I have gathered on these periods suggests that Jamaica failed, and he might get called, and that the failure of the state at that time to properly develop its people resulted in a failure of the people to achieve their potential. And that is what we are experiencing in the society today. Okay? You can't develop a country if you don't develop your people. Your people are your most valuable resource. Okay? You would study Singapore and the Singaporean model. You'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway, him gone. Go ahead, Nathaniel.
Yes, neighbor, good night to the panel and to the listeners. I want to establish something for the people. Yes, because we have a new scandal currently in the PNP. And I want to tell the people, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to type it in the comment section so you can memorize it. It is known as the PNP. It is the PNP exploitation land scandal. Type that in the comment section. If you want to listen again, I'm going to repeat it again. The PNP exploitation land scandal. Want to get it? Yes, that is a new scandal currently going on now. The PNP exploitation land scandal.
Got
yes,
you?
The PNP exploitation land scandal. And we are working on a flyer to make sure it is been attached to it. The leader of the opposition was Justice Minister at the time. Mr. Omar Davis was the housing minister. Mr. Guy who was up the opposition and the same facility. Yes, we adding them there because Mark Wolin law firm represent the people during the period of the miscarriage of justice. And they're trying to destabilize the court system in the country. So we have put that fires together because we need to make sure the people them understand what is it.
You are saying to me, Nathaniel, that this is a PNP scandal?
Yes, the PMP exploitation land scandal.
Cooper's pen is another PNP scandal.
Yes. And if you listen to the court record, and they put the judge himself tell you clear. Yes, the judge was clear and the ruling the judge tell you. The judge tell you it was very clear. The judge never means anything, you know. The judge speak it straight as it is. Yes. He used a word that forget the word that the judge used, which refer to our mean wicked.
Who was wicked?
The PMP government at the time, the housing minister. Wicked and unfair, that is the meaning of the word, I forget what the word name. Yes, wicked and unfair. Trying to use a misconduct, so they was exploiting the people all along there, all be trying hard to win the 2016 election. That was what it was all about. It. All them going to court, it was never about the people, it was about themselves. That was at one point when the judge summoned the minister of housing at the time, it was Omar Davis. He never turned up at court. Neither him nor the defendant turn up.
Is what you're saying to me, sir?
That is miscarriage of justice. They don't really care about the people, they won't care about themselves.
What you saying to me?
You know that name that the judge ruled that the people are supposed to compensate the owner of the property $50,000 per person. Up until today, that man have not received not one red cent from any one of them. Not one red cent the man have not received from any one of them. But they use for the man property, they can't say upstairs and downstairs house bill. So we then take on Billy.
It's a good question. Your baby.
That man have not received not one red cent from
your baby. I sing there, man.
What would they use, Billy?
Your baby is about.
And they might try to shift the goalpost. They tried to draw in Togo and the Prime Minister. When there was time, Miss Togo, I was a little girl and the Prime Minister was a little boy. As the Prime Minister make sure tell the country, tell them straight. He was a little boy at the time. So he don't have no idea, know nothing about it.
He says that it is the PNP exploitation land scandal. That is what Nathaniel is saying. Is a PNP scandal.
Yes,
Cooper's Hill is a scandal on the PNP. And what are you saying to me?
What is showing the country?
This is breaking. This is breaking news. Is another scandal. Is another PNP scandal.
This court case has proven to the Jamaican people how evil, and to show the Jamaican people how far the PNP is willing to go.
Hold on, Nathaniel. So you are saying to me. Hold on. You are saying to me that the matter that the PNP took to the court was a scam.
Yes.
Was never about the people.
But they tried to pervert the course of justice, never despite knowing so they already know the outcome. So they do what they that when the judge summoned the housing minister and one of the defendant who came before him, none of them turn up.
People of Jamaica, you're hearing this. You're hearing this tonight. You hearing this man talking about this?
That just using the people at their own political gain, and then the end result is what they say happened just 2 days ago. The people from our property, and when they do, there was none of them, they did not protect the people. Then just left by the wayside. But you see them go down, going down. They two and a Kimbo, not even back of water. When go down there, he orange shirt. What you seeing though? Announce Dennis Meadows as caretaker candidate. Remember the people in a crisis, you know. And Mark Williams, they go announce a caretaker candidate. When I tell the people, them say, ended up exploitation again. Then coming back with see a crap and try can the people again. You will come and tell the people, them say, in come with a liar. What the liar go do? Nothing. At that point, you see, I cover there crash out now because they don't get no case to go back court.
Buchanan. You know, hear this. Mr. Buchanan no get no case to go to court.
No, so they upset.
Oh dear.
So they come and try to many and them out there try to target to the Prime Minister and spin it. But it's time for the Prime Minister to take action against them. The time come with some of them start going to prison.
So let's go over this again with me, with Nathaniel. You are saying that this land issue at Cooper's Pen is a PNP scandal.
Yes, known as the PNP exploitation land scandal.
Oh my God! And why do you say it's a?
Their own political gain.
And
don't surprise me about it. Then go be take with the man land. That will show the intention when them have plan we take with the man land. And not give the people them. They might like we take you what we sell themselves.
Oh boy.
Activity them like carry out by the man. And the man put on he put on this side.
Instant ad.
You hear what is happening here?
Was willing to fight it.
You hear what is happening here?
In the court with them 16 years, the man never give up.
Almighty God. Hold on there.
To have the man up and property and laugh for it. That's like the judge of it put on and say, no, there is nothing here. Legally, remove the man, everything when they can come, the judge reject it. Because they try to break the law, then send them back and they come back with another thing, then just change something and come back up there. Then go out and then try to use the housing act, not knowing that the act will take the man legal property. The man that private land, oh, you want to go private man, private property.
Yes.
The man that pay tax for lawfully and take it and give to squatters. No, there's no line in the country where say you have the right to do so as a government.
Oh God.
When a government are going to do something like that, neighbor, what is it that the government is saying to the investors when they come in the island? You think any investors want to come and invest in that country when you see a government do that? When I tell the investors, say, neighbor, I'll feel and we take it to and say, and get it. That's him tell the investors, they must turn them away. And when the investors see things like that, they turn away from it. They don't trust them. That's why you can't do no investment and no development under a PNP administration and a Jamaica because investors both not trust the PNP.
Investors don't trust the PNP. What a something.
No, they don't trust them. Not in the private sector in the country, they don't trust them. They don't like them, they don't want to see them.
And what is this that I'm hearing coming on this program here tonight? That this is a PNP land scandal. It's a PNP scandal.
Yeah,
Hashtag it there for me. Hashtag it there for me. PNP land scandal.
Doing the program here. Mitchell has go to one tape when they go to free to play. When they need the break and make some commercial break and play that tape because they go to free to play. They help them stay out. We need the play so we can make some money off it. Yes, that tape must play at all times.
So we can make some money off it. So how we are gonna make how we are gonna make money? How we are gonna make money off it?
It was only called as Mario Mitchell said, delay tactics.
Are the same thing happening here, so?
Delay tactics.
It's delay tactics. Oh gosh.
When you sit down there, it's another farm of delay tactics. So you have the delay tactics in many farms. Many different farms.
What a wickedness.
So that was one of them with the PNP jar out of a playbook. With the people, them don't have cope and spend.
What a wickedness.
Like the people, so that was a part of the delay tactics.
What a wickedness upon people. I can't believe me ears.
So they don't know what they do now, the people in the door. And now the man, when I go turn up, then I go tell the people and say, I will come out the Andrew and the government must move the matter now to the Privy Council. And what ground? Oh, the Prime Minister go take up a matter that is illegal and the judge has already ruled. They don't go to Privy Council, go do what? And what ground? For what reason? Oh, I saw the man only man got Privy Council and he's not interested in nothing to do with the Privy Council.
Yes.
So you go and got Privy Council when it's convenient to them.
Yes.
Double standard. Double standard.
I tell you.
Alright, this is scandal again, you know, neighbor. Proven something to the Jamaican people. Why you must stay far away from the corrupt CCJ, you know? Because anyhow, away from the CCJ, this a go. The man losing land.
Oh, you said.
They will achieve their goal. But
Yeah.
they will manipulate it. Just like when you see a going up there now and the crisis, we are going for the CCJ.
Yes.
So they don't have no good agenda for the country. When they matter the country, go for the CCJ. They want to move out of the Privy Council neighbor because they can't get the twist and turn the judge them up for the CCJ, for the Privy Council, and get them to operate to them way. So that is the problem with the PNP have up in the Privy Council. They can't get them to work and to them favor, so they can't trouble them man there. So they have a problem.
Yes.
So that's why the scientist principal who go create the CCJ, so they have an agenda. And who have an agenda that why they create the CCJ because they have an agenda. And no man will come and try push PJ agenda.
Oh. Nathaniel, hold on there for me because I have a little tape here from Mr. George Davis Nationwide. They had a lawyer, said Mr. Bernard discussing this. Listen to him.
And granted an injunction restraining any further construction. Said told us before the break that none of the orders from the court were respected by the defendants, and the judgment.
Let's back this up a little bit.
Yes.
All right. So.
Well, it feels weird not telling my YouTubers, listeners.
Oh, go ahead.
Good afternoon. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Yes.
So Nationwide had Saheed Bernard. He's a host over there at Nationwide, listening to the breaking down this for us Jamaicans. I think we should listen to it. Let's listen to Nationwide, George Davis, and he's a lawyer. Yes, listen to it. Is the PNP land scandal? Wow.
Yeah, good. All right.
Yeah.
So the first headline question, Council, is this: what actually happened at Cooper's Pen this week?
So, in short, what happened is a bailiff, along with police officers, went to Cooper's Pen, and the presence of a bailiff is very important here, George, listeners, viewers. A bailiff does not get involved at all unless it concerns a matter being dealt with legally, because a bailiff, by law, is an officer of the court. So it's not to be seen as a private demolition, quote unquote. Yeah, because a bailiff only comes on the scene to execute a court order. So whatever you think about the manner in which it was done is one thing, but it was the enforcement of a judgment of the Supreme Court, and that is why you have the bailiff there. That is the
all right. So you hear that then. The first point there is that there was a bailiff on spot, which means that the court ordered this you call it eviction, demolition. Get that clear. All right, we're going back to Nationwide.
Important part. And in fact, they're going back there to get rid of the other structures that are there.
Yes. All right. So that covers in headline form what happened at Cooper's Pen this week and the presence of that bailiff. Now, yes. I want you to go in the detail that you have it prepared, because you prepared these remarks before you came here. The headline question: whose land is it, and how far back does this dispute go?
Mm-hmm. So it's a registered land. The volume and folio number, the subject part of it, 1008 volume folio 636. And the registered proprietor is New Falmouth Resorts Limited, which is a company registered under the laws of Jamaica. And the chairman and chief executive officer is Mr. James Chisholm. And the information that I have here, that I have gleaned, is from my meticulous reading of both cases. And that's the case in the Supreme Court, the Court of Appeal. And I've also gone as far as to obtain the formal order from the previous court sitting, the claim in 2007, which predates the 2010 claim that involves all 99 persons, the 99 people on the land as at the time. Yeah. So the dispute has never been about who owns the land. That was not in dispute in 2007, not in dispute in 2010. Not in dispute before Justice Campbell in 2014, and certainly not.
That's Justice Lennox Campbell.
Right.
Good.
The dispute began in 2007, so it has now been running for 19 years. And it concerns about 9 acres of the land that has been occupied by a group of persons, said to be about 100 families, some of who have claimed to be there for more than 15 years, and some who says their families have been there for generations. They have built permanent concrete structures, they had water and electricity connected, and the judgment, again, describes it as a vibrant community. That description matters. And further down, George, you'll see why I paint that picture.
Stick up in, listeners, viewers, audience, remember, the judgments that Said has examined describe it as a vibrant community. That is going to loom large in the further answers that Said will provide later on. Just remember, the judgment, it's not his opinion, the judgments of the court describe Orange Grove as a vibrant community.
My opinion comes out on the analysis of the judgments
That's
that
right.
I've read.
That's right. All right. Let's squeeze this one in before the break and take your time because we're going to have the time. What did the Supreme Court decide in the year of our Lord 2010?
So in 2007, first of all, let's go back to that. New Falmouth Resorts Limited, they brought a claim against 99 persons for recovery of possession. That is an ordinary claim a registered owner brings against a person occupying their property without permission. That actually turned out to be a long trial before Justice Donald McIntosh. For it to be a long trial, George, and this is based on our experience in the legal system, it means that the defense that they had to the recovery of possession claim from the company was that they adversely possessed the property by means of being there for more than 12 years, undisturbed and in open possession. In 2010, April 6 to be specific, judgment came in favor of the company, and the judge made 3 orders. 1, recovery of possession of the land. 2, he ordered each defendant to pay damages of $50,000 for trespass and wrongful occupation. And 3, he ordered the defendants to demolish and remove their illegal structures from the land. And he granted an injunction restraining any further construction by any other defendant. And that third order is the one that's important, George, because the court did not simply say that they must leave. The court said they must pull down what they had built 16 years ago. It is unchallenged. It is on the record. They did not pay the damages. They did not demolish. They did not remove the structures. That judgment, that 2010 judgment, was never appealed, and it stands even today as the final judgment from the Supreme Court.
Very important. You hear what Said said? Those 3 orders, go again, not challenged. They didn't pay what the court ordered them to pay. They did not demolish, and they did not remove any structure. And that 2010 judgment, which ordered them to do those things, went unappealed. Yes. All right. Very important. All right. All right. Stick with us. We have more ground to cover.
Well, stick with us. We have more ground to cover. Member Harry?
Good night, neighbor.
Member, how you doing?
Not too bad in a neighbor.
Member, we're going to go back to nationwide, but it's on a little bit of break now. What you make of what you're hearing so far?
Neighbor, the issue is no longer one of legal matters, right? It has now become a question between somewhat of maybe a little ethics or moral, where consideration could be sought there, but it has now been thrown into the political arena. So it's a political issue.
Yes.
Not for the government, right? Not for the illegal inhabitants of the property, and not for the legal owners. So that's 3 parties.
Yes.
It's not a legal matter for them anymore. Sorry, it's not political for those 3. Who it is political for is the opposition, who have politicized the incident as to what happened. Because let's not fool ourselves in a neighbor. This isn't the first something of this manner is happening, and it's not going to be the last. This has become more of a civil matter throughout, because it's almost every day we have land issues that goes to court where one man goes against. I think it's even more prevalent with returning residents who have gone overseas, work hard, bought their land here, and because they're not here physically, persons may try to adversely possess, and that has been something that frequents Jamaica's courts, neighbor. We can even check with NLA that it's very common where persons have found it loopholes to try and adversely possess lands for decades upon decades. So it's nothing new. But for political relevance, the opposition have surely politicized it. And I'll tell you why. They want to bring the Prime Minister into the fray. And let me dig deeper with it. Because the HA, I believe, the Ministry of Housing rather, falls under his portfolio. It is in the office of the Prime Minister. So they want to nudge him to get a reaction from it, and also paint those inhabitants of the land, paint a picture that he's evil and against them. Because if the Prime Minister doesn't step in, not as a minister, they're not calling for him as a minister, neighbor. They're calling for him as the premier, right? As the head of it. Not in his capacity as the minister, but the helm of the country. And they want to paint and push him against the people so they can hate him. And that's how they're going to get relevance. Right? So that is the political agenda from the opposition. Because, again, it's no longer a legal matter based on what Saeed has put forward for us. It has been settled years ago. But what you can do is to play on the ignorance of those who never followed this case. That is dated from 2007. I can tell you, very few people who are listening here tonight even had any idea about this from 2007. Very few. But what they're going to do is appeal to the emotions. So they're going to demolish the people, them thing, and the government never step in, the government allow this, and now the victimization mindset. They draw for that card, neighbor, because it's very easy to appeal to the emotions of ignorant people, even those who are there, right? Those inhabitants, because they know. But anything to try and get to that emotional side, seek relevance, let it become a political issue, because what is happening, it falls under the agenda of the People's National Party to throw on this government every single housing problem that has been in Jamaica pre-independence and post-independence. That they have done, and they've done so. In fact, the civic society that is not there has allowed this to happen. And they continue to allow it. And one of the things is because I hear somebody come up and speak about land reformation and all of that. This isn't something that will be done within the last term or the term before. Reformation it's not done in a decade when you have so many things to change. And the government has taken steps for that. In fact, there was a meeting, I believe in St. James, I don't remember the exact community, where it is about the whole aspect of land ownership and so on.
You're right.
Exactly. And it's a massive turnout.
Yeah. Well,
it's a massive turnout for neighbors, so we know it's an issue that is being addressed, but the People's National Party is seeking relevance now, right? And to also turn the heads of Jamaican people from the true scandal as to what's happening with them.
All right, let's go back to Nationwide.
Said Bernard's
Let's go back to Nationwide. YouTube, that's Harry up there on your... Okay, that's Harry. That's Harry beside me right over here on YouTube. So that voice that you were hearing is Harry. And we're glad to have him. We're going to go back to Nationwide and pick up a little bit more of the interview from them.
2007, the company that owned the land, New Falmouth Resorts, it brought a claim against 99 people who had squatted on the land for a recovery of said land. On April 6, 2010, 3 years later, Justice McIntosh delivered a judgment in favor of the company and ordered the squatters to ordered the company to recover possession of the land,
Yes.
ordered each of the 99 defendants to pay damages of $50,000 for trespass and wrongful occupation. He also ordered the defendants to demolish and remove their illegal structures from the land and granted an injunction restraining any further construction. Saeed told us before the break that none of the orders from the court were respected by the defendants, and the judgment was never appealed. So now, Saeed, what?
And before you go
Yes.
to the next question, I want to make a point, because when you look on the formal order of that 2007 judgment for recovery of possession, the 99 defendants, one of the defendants, in fact, the 85th defendant, was persons unknown. You hear many people saying, "Oh, but I never know about the judgment," or "I don't know if I was around at that time," or whatever. The persons unknown here, as is listed as a defendant, mean if you're on the land.
Yeah.
Quite simple.
Right. Good. All right. So what happened after 2010, Saeed? Did the matter simply go quiet? Did it disappear? What happened?
No. In fact, it went opposite. The evidence accepted by the courts in the 2010 case, where the minister got involved in, there was literally an expansion of the community. So the judge made an order, the community expanded. And the turning point came when the company, in trying to enforce the judgment that they got, they approached JPS to have the electricity supply to the unlawful occupants discontinued. That is what triggered a wave of applications now in early 2012 to stop the eviction. So that segues right to the heart of the story,
Yes.
I think, George. And that explains why the court eventually spoke how it did.
Yes.
Because in March 2012, 2 applications were filed, one in the 2007 claim for a stay of execution of that judge's judgment for demolition and recovery of possession, and another for an injunction to stop the company from interfering with the occupants. On the face of these applications, George, what was brought against the 99 defendants, but in substance, it was driven by the housing minister
Who at the time was Dr. Maurice
Dr.
Guy.
Maurice Guy. I'm learning. The supporting affidavits were sworn by Mr. Joseph Shakir, who is the managing director of Jamaica, the housing agency of Jamaica at the time. And he described himself in the affidavit as the duly authorized agent of the Ministry of Housing. The basis of the application was that in February 2012, the minister had declared the lands an improvement area under Section 6 of the Housing Act, which the minister said left him at liberty to compulsorily acquire the land under the Land Acquisition Act. In May 2012, so this is months later, the minister then went ahead and lodged a caveat.
This is that controversial caveat.
And I'm going to get to that, George. The minister went and lodged a caveat against the company's title, which had the practical effect of freezing, not of dispelling, but of freezing the owner's ability to deal with the land as he or she saw fit. Yeah. They went on in May of that said year, days later actually, to then gazette the declaration of that being an improvement area. Now, when somebody places a caveat on a title, a caveat is there to say, I am stopping you from doing anything until a court has ruled. So you don't just lodge a caveat and you leave it like that and think that nothing will happen. The caveat can be warned, it can be cautioned, and things go on. But ultimately, George and listeners, once the court makes a ruling on the determination of the land as it relates to its legal and equitable interest, then the caveat, to my mind, is of no moment.
Here we know. Good. You spoke just now about the minister moving to declare the area an improvement area. Therefore, what is an improvement area, and what was the minister trying to achieve by virtue of this designation?
So the Housing Act actually gives the minister very important powers. Section 4, for example, it allows the minister to declare a housing area where further housing accommodation is needed. Section 5 deals with slum conditions and slum clearance, where conditions are so bad that you just need to demolish the entire area. Section 6 of the Housing Act, it deals with the improvement schemes where houses are in an unfit area by way of, shoddy house management, or the roads are too small, it is unfit for human habitation through disrepair or sanitary defects, and frankly speaking, dangerous to the health of those who occupy it. Yes? Section 25 then provides that land proposed to be acquired for such an approved scheme may be acquired under the Land Acquisition Act. and that the purpose is deemed to be a public purpose. And I'm going to come back to that. Very important. The purpose must be for a public purpose. So based on what happened in the case, the strategy seems to be this, George. You declare the land an improvement area. You use that declaration to compulsorily acquire it from the owner.
Yes.
You pay the owner compensation, and you'll be familiar with this. NROC does it when they want to, build roads. You buy the land from the person.
Yes.
But that's a public purpose. You want roads.
Yes.
Then you regularize the occupants on the land that were already on the land.
Yes.
In one sense, to my mind, it's a humane objective. People need to live. Some says land is for the people. But the difficulty with the act is that it was not designed to do that. And the evidence put before the court did not come close to meeting the statutory obligations.
So stick a pin then. All right. What then did Justice McIntosh say when this matter returned to him, came back before him in 2012?
Okay, so we're listening to an interview done by George Davis from Nationwide with Saheed Bernard, who is a lawyer, looking at the Cooper's Pen land issue, the demolition, and it is gripping and very interesting because...
Good night, neighbor.
Good night to you. Good night.
How is the night? How is the night, sir?
It's doing, I'm good. I'm doing all right. Hi.
Yes, me have a burning issue, Me not sorry for none of them, the people out there.
Oh, what are you saying to me?
No, because they all knew that it wasn't their land. And they all knew they should have not been there.
Yes.
From 2007, right? They all knew that. They continue. This is why this country cannot get better, neighbor. Because you know why, neighbor? People want to rule you over your things and want to bully you. This system has to get out of the country.
Yes.
And this is why the People's National Party is not good for Jamaica.
Well, based on what we're hearing from Mr. Saheed Bernard, sir, it appears
because
as if
this is the aggressiveness that they have, and it come right down to the neighbor. If you look at majority of the garrison that they rule, majority of them squatters going in at them, it was squatters built from them. Yes, and you see the opposition leader. I don't know. May I tell you, you know, had nothing good for the country, my friend. Everything good for this country oppose upon it. When it in the country's favor, but when he want in a favor, he have all sort of way to turn. Forget that.
Yeah, but sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to hold though, because we want to complete the interview with the we have there with Nationwide. We want to say good night to Val White on Facebook. Hello there, Val. How you doing? Great to have you. Want to say good night to all listeners on X. All our listeners on X, welcome. Thank you for tuning in to Politics Matter, the Hello Neighbor show. Of course, let's go back to Saheed Bernard on Nationwide with George Davis. Gripping stuff. Fascinating thing happening here. This is going to be a big story.
He said this, and I'm going to quote it here. It's at paragraph 10. It was so important that it was quoted back by the judges of the Court of Appeal. Given the history of this case, because he had refused the application by this time for the injunction, and he spoke very strongly. In fact, he asked the minister to come to court.
Wow.
He did not come. He noted the presence of the legal officers of the housing agency, and he handed them a written copy of his judgment. His written reasons are part of it, paragraph 10, as quoted in the Court of Appeal. It says, given the history of the case, the length of the trial, and the efforts made by the court to assist the defendants, who seem to have been misled by politicians into squatting on private property, notwithstanding their unlawful act, this court emphasizes with the gullible defendants. The application is iniquitous. It may be that the law is not a shackle to the lawmakers. That does not apply to the court, which must dispense justice according to the law.
What are you saying to me? You hearing that, listeners? The minister.
Huh? Person, I know James Patterson when he come tell the country say the law is not a shackle. You the liar, they are telling about
God. Gripping stuff. This is fascinating stuff, you know. Go ahead.
It is the court's view that the application is devoid of sincerity. It is an attempt to pervert the course of justice and an abuse of the process of the court.
Wow. Wow.
Listen to it again.
Justice.
Listen to it
by the judges of the Court of Appeal. Given the history of this case, because he had refused the application by this time for the injunction, and he spoke very strongly. In fact, he asked the minister to come to court. He did not come.
Mm-hmm.
He noted the presence of the legal officers of the housing agency, and he handed them a written copy of his judgment. His written reasons are part of it, paragraph 10, as quoted in the Court of Appeal. It says, given the history of the case, the length of the trial, and the efforts made by the court to assist the defendants, who seem to have been misled by politicians into squatting on private property, notwithstanding their unlawful act, this court emphasizes with the gullible defendants. The application is iniquitous. It may be that the law is not a shackle to the lawmakers. That does not apply to the court, which must dispense justice according to the law. It is the court's view that the application is devoid of sincerity. It is an attempt to pervert the course of justice and an abuse of the process of the court.
Wow. Wow. Justice McIntosh speaking as assertively as that, saying, let me repeat, that the defendants seem to have been, quote, misled by politicians into squatting on private property. Notwithstanding their unlawful act, the court empathizes with the gullible defendants. Not all words, his words. All right. So.
Hold on. Remember, Harry? This is a scandal. This is a scandal in the making.
Well, this is my, I don't want to call it an appeal. This is my advice to the government first. We need Morris Guy to come and defend this position. So that's the first thing. The next part is, I highly recommend that the opposition comes and clear this air, specifically those members who would have been a part of the government of that time who had a hand in attempting to weaponize an act in court against legal owners who are citizens of Jamaica, and also those who would have falsely misled innocent Jamaican people.
Oh my, gullible!
Think otherwise. Neighbor, this is what you look at that and to say you cannot trust the People's National Party. Doesn't matter if it's back then or now, because we're still seeing the same thing now. You cannot trust them in anything they do, because how are you going to try and weaponize an act that was never ever built for the purpose that you are trying to achieve for a political gain? Not a lawful one, not a legal one to benefit the holistic development of the country. It is so you can have political strife and have a hold on people. Because I can tell you, this is not the first time. This may have been the big one that made it public. But understand how the People's National Party,
what a shame,
go about their business, neighbor.
What a shame.
And look at it. Again, it's still somewhat in the West. What is their strategy to hold people in the West? This is holding ownership of the people's minds by waving and giving them hope of something that has never and will never come true. Yes, and I want to say this as well, in a neighbor. It is also one of the very reasons why the diaspora no one come home back in those days.
Oh, God.
Because how am I going to legally own the land? It is shown in the law, in the court, that it is mine. It is not contested. But you, as the government and the state, through politics, want to take what is mine, hard-earned money, buy it, blood, sweat, and tears. Yeah, but that is not something that if I'm in the diaspora, I'd want to come home. And these news travel far and wide. So it wasn't just crime. I mean, this is a criminal act in itself, right? But it's not the usual crime that we thought was preventing people from coming home. The very government was against its own people. So what do we expect?
What a investors, which is the main one that is supposed to bring job to the table.
What a scandal.
That investor now come. The investor now want to purchase land and the next when they come and the government take it gateway. And that them are telling investors.
Listeners, I'm shocked. I am shocked, and I beg you to bear with us. Let's get a little bit more from Nationwide. We want to thank George Davis. Wow, he's won a national award. Boy, he should get an award for this too. Let's listen a little bit more to Nationwide. We have member Harry with us. We have Nathaniel, and of course, my producer is behind the scene there doing a lot of work. Thank you, Caroline. Let's go back to Nationwide.
Therefore, what happened when the minister, subsequent to this judgment, then sued New Falmouth Resorts, the owner of the land, and sued them in his own name?
So he then went on now, George, to file a fresh claim. And when you say a fresh claim, new claim. And he placed himself at the forefront now as the claimant and New Falmouth Resorts as the defendant. He sought several declarations. Among them was that he was entitled to compulsory.
Yeah, you're saying so?
You know the man say a while ago what the minister do.
Yes.
So the man in his own name, you know.
That are the minister.
The minister, you know. So why will the minister care the own of the Falmouth Resort to court and the Falmouth Resort a lawsuit and bring Falmouth Resort before the court over something that don't concern the minister? Why would the minister do something like that?
Why, I tell you, sir. Fascinating stuff.
Why do something like that? Someone try everywhere to exploit the man and property.
Fascinating stuff.
Something like that.
Yeah. Hold on. Let's go back in.
Really acquire the land, that the Commissioner of Lands could take possession of the land, and that the landlord in the Commissioner of Lands. He sought the injunctions as of earlier, restraining the owner from dealing with his own land and from evicting, an injunction from evicting and disturbing the occupants and from demolishing or altering the structures. New Falmouth applied to strike out that claim.
Mm-hmm.
And when he says strike out, he's telling Judge, don't listen to this claim. It has no place in this court. Throw it out. And the matter was heard by Justice Campbell over 5 days. And in 2014 of February, he refused the minister's application for an injunction and struck out the minister's claim entirely. And he gave several reasons, George, as to why he struck it out.
Yes.
He said that one, they didn't satisfy the statutory conditions. What are the statutory conditions? He says that there was no evidence that the minister actually considered housing conditions in the area. There was no evidence of a prepared housing scheme under Section 4.2, nor a prepared housing scheme under Section 6.2, and no approval from the said minister under Section 11. He was referring to the said act that would allow you to make the declaration, but there are certain preliminary steps that had to be done and taken before and after, before it got to this stage. Those were not taken. What is striking to my mind is the government's own evidence, to my mind, defeated the case. Because the affidavit of Simone Morris Rattray, who was, as at the time, the senior legal officer and the minister's own authorized agent, this is her affidavit, she said that nearly all the occupants had permanent concrete structures with water and electricity and described the settlement as a vibrant community. But Section 6 of the Housing Act requires the opposite.
Yes.
I went through what would be required by Section 6. I can go back through it. Section 6 requires, it deals with clearance where conditions are so bad that, no, that's Section 5. Section 6 deals with improvement schemes where the houses in an area are unfit for human habitation through disrepair or sanitary defects, or are dangerous to health because of bad arrangement, narrow or badly arranged streets, or overcrowded. Yeah? Section 6 here, based on the affidavit, it says permanent concrete structures with water and electricity and a vibrant community.
Yeah.
it requires houses unfit for human habitation. I just went through what Section 6 means. He also went on, the judge, to say there was no public purpose, and that is the constitutional core of the case, and I'll deal with it separately. He spoke about the balance of convenience, the fact that the judge, the balance of convenience, the judge thought that it favored the company because the company has been trying to do every single thing to get the people out. And as a matter of fact, when you're seeking an injunction in legal cases, George, there is usually something that you have to put in the application that you undertake to cover damages that arise from an injunction.
Yes.
That was not given.
Yes.
That undertaking was not given.
Yes.
Then the judge went on to say that the claimant's own conduct. He quoted an equitable maxim. He says, "He who comes to equity must come with clean hands."
Oh.
Because apparently a valuation of the owner's property had been procured with no explanation of the authority under which that was done. And then the minister had gone on to gazette the declaration after a judge had already ruled, and that was disregarded by the minister. The judge took that into consideration.
All right. After the break, we have to take the break. It's 6 o'clock. You're going to explain to the listeners, from your perspective, why the court found that there was no public purpose element strong enough to compel him to side with the government in this matter. Well, the then government in this matter of the Cooper's Bend land dispute with the owners, New Falmouth Resorts. After the break.
Well, there you have it. Gripping, absolutely gripping stuff. The truth come to boom, story come to boom. And let me tell you something. I hope that all those persons who have been making comments on this will listen to this interview. Member Harry, what you make of it so far?
It is beyond eye-opening, and I'm not even speaking for myself. I think it is for those people who would have had no idea about the legal matters, and also a governmental stance, which at the end of this neighbor, what Maurice Guy did by filing in his name, moved it from a government issue to him personalizing it. So what we're seeing there now in a neighbor, it now moves to something that he wants to take claim for, meaning the credit if they had won in court. So he moved it to that way now to try and boost up his, what we call it now, his political stock, right? Which never worked. And I'm happy. And this is one of the things, one of the takeaways I want the people of Jamaica to look at who don't believe that the judiciary system works. It works. You're seeing it as living proof that even the state that is a part of the system going up against this judiciary system as a judiciary arm neighbor cannot defeat it that easily. So why not trust the system? That is a major takeaway from it. Because understand this in a neighbor. This is the minister who is a part of the government, an arm of the governmental structure, going up against another arm. And people is saying we cannot trust our judiciary system, that it is fickle, it's weak.
Well, this is a good sign that the judiciary has some separation of powers, eh?
Exactly. And we want to also paint the picture, neighbor, that the government of the past, the People's National Party, cannot be trusted. It doesn't matter how you feel about the current administration. It don't matter how you feel and think about the color. You have evidence again. And I'm thankful for the People's National Party to keep showing us who they are. It is now up to the people with all this evidence, when the time comes, to make the right decision. Because fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. How many more times? After getting so many, this is years of evidence, neighbor. How many more evidence does Jamaicans need to ensure that the People's National Party, at this juncture, because we can't speak for what the future may hold somewhere down the road, they should never be able to wield the power of being a government. They aren't ready. They were never ready. And we're seeing signs as to how they managed to wield themselves for such a very long time, because it wasn't genuine winning. It wasn't winning on performance, on actions taken. It was winning through manipulation and taking advantage of the ignorance of the people, which they themselves ensure they manufacture more of it every single time they win.
Well, let me ask you this, member. With this information out now, thanks to Nationwide, how do you think it will change the narrative and of the discussion so far across the island? Do you think that this provides context and understanding, or do you think that the spin continues?
You will always, because it's being politicized, neighbor, and it's the act of politicking. The spin will always continue. Right? That is the art of the People's National Party. They brought it to this way, and they'll continue to spin it as best as possible. But here's the issue. The Jamaican people need to push back against that spin. Drop the emotions. Drop the, I'm sorry for them and them should. Drop that act. Be logical. Right? Because if you put yourself in the position where you went up against the government for what is rightfully yours, and they want to, in a sense, adversely possess by weaponizing an act, right? To take what is yours as a citizen, legally yours, then you wouldn't have that same emotion. And also to show that the People's National Party, neighbor, upholds unlawfulness, meaning the court ruling stated that these people were to pay the $50,000 and they should have taken down.
Hold on there, member. I think the listeners think that you are Said. I see someone's.
Neighbor, please allow me to interrupt.
Yes.
For YouTube, please like and subscribe on the page over there. And for TikTok, please tap the screen to keep the live active. And respectfully, I'm going to ask the guest in the box not to open your microphone unless you're acknowledged by neighbor, please. Thank you.
Very good. Okay. Yes, member. I was thinking about the how the conversation will shift.
The unlawful pedigree of the People's National Party that they thrive on. Wanted to throw out what the very ruling from the court states. Because we know the $50,000 should have been paid. The people know that.
That is the people that is to pay the landowner the money.
Pay the landowner, and also remove any structure that they placed on the property, right? And the People's National Party look at it and say, no, I'm not so this a go. We're not pay them nothing. We're going to fight it. And understand this. Look at the time frame in which this has dragged out, neighbor. I can tell you of that 99, the People's National Party got pretty good votes out of that area. Right? Wow. And that is where the politics come again. Because this span across such a very long time. And some of the people, I mean, they're ignorant to a very great extent because they don't understand the law and so on. But they know. It's that inner conscious man, neighbor.
You know.
You know when you do something wrong. It is not yours. And at some point in time, that is a level of corruption from an individual level, aided from a macro level, which is the state, which is the government of that time, the minister from a People's National Party government, aided that. They fed on it. They were parasitic in nature to feed on it as long as they could, neighbor. And who gets holding, as we said, the shitty end of the stick? The very people who, had they done and uphold the law and not fall in the trap of having a false hope that at some point in time the government can overrule what the court says. You know it is not yours. Then do what is morally and ethically right as a human being. And when people say they don't feel any way about it and they're not sorry for them, I can't go against those people? I can't say don't. Because had they not known, neighbor, if you never know nothing, I could say okay. But ignorance in this
In other words, you are saying, member, that the people have to take responsibility for what happened to them.
Of course. In fact, your neighbor, to show you the disrespect and the disregard for law, right? Them double down a 1-story to a 2-story house, car, and all of that. Everything's below no. And Saeed mentioned a vibrant.
But hold on, member. Would you not blame the political party that misled them into thinking that somehow it was okay? Because you have to show leadership.
You do. But understand this, neighbor. As a man, leadership comes from you first. It is your decision making in the end. So it doesn't matter what another person may persuade you or want to persuade you to do whatever. Right? At some point in time, the onus first, neighbor, accountability falls at your feet as an individual first. Remember, I know yours, you know. So you feed into the bias of a hope. And it's true that you know it never come true, but the hope comes from the fact that the People's National Party practiced this way for over 40 years. And when you see this happening for generations, neighbor, you know, get a little bit more confident. And the confidence is shown by the type of structures that were placed over time on the property that you know is not yours. That is how dangerous the People's National Party is in a neighbor. And that is how they breed lawlessness. And that is how the moral and social fabric of society has eroded significantly, especially when they're in power. So when now a different leadership comes into play, want to clean up the system and try to do it the right way, we have a level of obstruction from the very people.
Yeah, push back.
What is right is not normal for them. Doing wrong is normal. And when you're fighting against trying to normalize what is right and the norm, neighbor, against something that has been institutionalized from a previous state, you are now fighting the very people for their own selves, which makes no sense. Because I shouldn't be fighting with you for the benefit of you. Because you made a mistake that you know about. So I can't even call it a mistake anymore.
Yeah.
And that is very dangerous, neighbor.
Yeah. Let's go back to Nationwide and hear a little bit more of what they have to say. Let's go back in.
We've heard a lot of comments about who's in the right, actions of the government then, the things that the government now ought to do, the rights of squatters, the rights of property owners, all of that. And so we've asked Saeed Bernard to read the judgments, analyze them, and take from the judgments the salient points that can answer the questions that you have about this matter to help your own understanding. Where we had left the conversation at the break was that Saeed had told us that the Minister of Housing at the time, he went to the court and filed a fresh claim. He wanted the court to rule that the minister was now entitled to compulsorily acquire the land, that the Commissioner of Lands could take possession of the land, and that the land was now vested in the Commissioner of Lands. He also sought injunctions restraining the owner, New Falmouth Resort, from dealing with their own land, restrain them from evicting or disturbing the squatters, and from demolishing or altering any of the structures. Justice Campbell heard the matter over 5 days, and he refused the minister's application. And he gave several reasons. Saeed says that very important among the reasons was that the court found that there was no public purpose element of the minister's claim. Why did the court find that there was no public purpose element in this matter, Mr. Bernard?
Now, imagine, George, you live in a country where you've worked hard, you've saved, you pull shifts, you've been here from morning, and you're still here.
Mm-hmm.
You buy a piece of land, and the government just comes and says, I'm going to take the property from you, I'm going to buy it from you because I'm going to give it to me. Yeah? That is what the Constitution can't allow.
Yes.
And Section 18 of the Constitution, it allows for the compulsory acquisition of land under that law and compensation, access to the court, but it must be for a public purpose. Yeah. Now the judge, when referring back to Section 25 of the Housing Act, he says it creates a presumption that acquisition for a scheme is for a public purpose, but he held that that presumption is rebuttable and that the court is entitled to look beyond the veil, look beyond the stated purpose, look beyond what is in the affidavits, look beyond what the minister has said and see whether or not it is a sham. Now, this principle of law, George, takes shape from the 1800s in a case called Street and Montfort, ruled in England, where the judge said, you cannot call a spoon a fork and it must be accepted as a fork. You must look beyond. And if you call it a fork, it does not matter as long as the subject looks and operates like a spoon. Same principle here. So Justice Campbell went on in paragraph 36 of the judgment, frankly speaking, very blunt, to say the stated or alleged purpose of the claimant, the Minister of Housing, is not for general interest of the community, but merely for private individuals voluntarily associated together for their own benefit. There can be no public purpose or furtherance of the general interest of the community as opposed to the particular interest of individuals, requiring the respondent to locate these families on its land in flagrant breach of the orders of this court. It tells me, George, that Justice Campbell here was very upset as to what took place after his sister judge made rulings in 2007.
Yeah, very well. All right. So there are some passages that I'm sure you would have highlighted as you read, and they reflect what the court had to say about the overall matter. You've mentioned paragraphs 36 and 38. Any other paragraphs that caught your eye and why?
Yes, 46 of the judgment of Justice Campbell's judgment, 47 as well. He says the Housing Act and the Land Acquisition Act do not provide for the compulsory acquisition of privately owned land in order to transfer an interest to a community of persons who have occupied those lands despite their efforts of the owner to evict. Very important.
Yes.
This dispels any labeling of adverse possession because you're not in open, undisturbed possession.
Yes, it's not undisturbed.
No, it's not undisturbed, despite the efforts of the owner to evict. And furthermore, again, the judge is upset because it is in defiance of the orders of the Supreme Court. I share the view of my brother, Justice McIntosh, that the application of the claimant is insincere and iniquitous. The Constitution protects private property and does not provide cover for the acquisition of private property in order to regularize the unlawful occupation of squatters.
Very important.
He goes on in paragraph 47. I have not been shown any authority that imposes an obligation on a private landowner to make available his land to a community of persons in unlawful occupation in order to prevent those persons bringing on social unrest. The Constitution does not reserve the right to ownership of large tracts of land to persons of any particular social class, color, or creed. Justice McIntosh was driven to describe the earlier application on behalf of the occupants as insincere and iniquitous, the third time now, using these same two words.
Insincere and iniquitous.
No doubt because of the total disregard for the defendant's fundamental rights. This court has formed the view that the hardship that has been visited on the defendant appears to be a consequence of a view on which public officials and the claimant seemed to have acted that Mr. Chisholm, and this is the most potent.
Powerful stuff. Read it, Said.
Mr. Chisholm, not being from a line of traditional large landowners, has no right to ownership of such relatively large tracts of land. If I am correct in that view, the remedy to that malady is an emancipation of those minds so enslaved.
Oh gosh.
Wow. Wow.
I don't want it to miss that.
Oh gosh.
This court has formed the view that the hardship that has been visited on the defendant appears to be a consequence of a view on which public officials and the claimant seemed to have acted that Mr. Chisholm, not, and this is the most potent,
Powerful stuff. Read it, Said.
Mr. Chisholm, not being from a line of traditional large landowners, has no right to ownership of such relatively large tracts of land. If I am correct in that view, the remedy to that malady is an emancipation of those minds so enslaved.
Wow.
Wow. Member Harry, what is the judge saying here?
Neighbor, that right there, in layman terms, right? That the People's National Party, Morris Guy specifically, because he's the minister, is against the common man of ever achieving anything in this country. Because when you're going to go to a lineage to say you're not from any specific group, because back then in colloquial times, there were 21 families for Jamaica. And because the owner is not of any of those families, of any background, which would have the right, or from a status quo that has the right to own large land, we need to take it from him. That is a threat, neighbor, to you and I, and every ambitious person out there who ever think of owning land.
Is this for real? Is this for real, Scratchy? Harry, is this for real?
Neighbor, the judge would not falter to make such a statement, right? And it is a malicious intent in a neighbor, wholesomely. And in fact, it was a full throttle move from the then People's National Party. Because how can you make such a statement? And this is the thing, my neighbor. When are these people going to say that the People's National Party don't care about them? Because what they're saying from that statement is also that they want to maintain a specific system where the common man stays as a commoner. There's no upward mobility whatsoever. That is the statement being said here. You don't come from money. You don't come from affluence. You're not supposed to have it. I don't care how much you work. I don't care how much years you put in. I just don't care because I don't think you are part of that upper echelons, which comes from colonial times. So you don't have a say. You don't have a right to it. And that is the message that has been maintained from the People's National Party. And I hope from that statement, which I want you to play it again after I finish, neighbor, that the people will see them again for what they are. They aren't there for your upbringing.
I have not been sure.
Sorry, go ahead.
Neighbor, they aren't there for anything for the people. And it says a whole lot. They're there for themselves. This now, it moved from a national matter to a politically based for a very small group, which is the party. Then it became an individual thing, and then it moved, neighbor, to let's maintain the status quo in society. Despite us being independent and free, let's maintain it in a different way. Don't make them know them ignorant. Enough for them land. Right? We're going to take it from this man because we not think him supposed to have it. Nobody at that. If they don't accept you to be at their level or higher, you aren't welcome. And this leads to something greater, neighbor. You think it's just for sure? Why Mark Golding don't like the Prime Minister? The Prime Minister represents a common man who made it up.
Oh.
Mark Golding born in it. Other members from
what you saying? What you say? Hold on, member. What you saying to me there? What you saying to me?
Neighbor, this is a maintenance of classism. The law states, you know.
Member Harry. Member Harry. You're serious about that?
Neighbor, it's more serious than the judge.
Member.
That is how it is. And remember, you know, this is how they want to rule Jamaica.
Oh.
Mark Golding said him an entrepreneur is friend. But what happened is that Mark come and say it. But they've been operating that way long before him become the leader. That is it, you know. So we need to know again, neighbor, I can't stress it. What will it take for Jamaicans to start to see what these conniving son of a guns that cause themselves?
You call them a conniving son of a gun member?
Neighbor, and that's me being very kind, because this issue for me, because I've done the rounds in terms of on social media, just reading comments and so on, because this is my first time fully commenting any at all on the matter, right? And that's
A
so
conniving son of a gun.
Of course, neighbor, right? When I look at it, I see the emotions of people who are ignorant, not just those who are in it, but the rest of Jamaicans who just run out and say anything because what is political thing. But when you look at it, and it continues, because Isat Buchanan knows, neighbor. He knows the case. He can't fool me. He can't come and say anything he feel like. But he knows the case, and he's still playing on the ignorance, not just this time on those who are affected immediately, but on the ignorance of Jamaicans who have been riled up in the emotional state. He's exploiting it.
Wow.
Just like how Morris Guy exploited the very individuals for political gains.
Wow. Conniving son of a gun them. Oh, member. Hold on there, member. Let me see who is Julian Sterling. Do you want to come in here, Julian?
Yes, good night. Good night.
Oh,
all right.
Wait, yes. You agree, ma'am, that they're a conniving son of a gun?
Of course,
Oh.
and I have to give you my part.
Okay.
All right, I'm from the West, right?
Yes.
There's one of the member of the People's National Party. She used to work along with National Solid Waste on the road.
Yes.
Right? And after she was working with National Solid Waste on the road, she employed a lot of people, right, on the road. I was one of them on the road. And let me tell you something, my neighbor. My neighbor is a wickedest and conniving set of people me ever come across.
What are you saying to me?
There's a place in Montego Bay called the Cage. That was where the PNP them used to come, and the money used to come through that place.
You serious? Hold on, ma'am. You serious about that? You know about that for true?
Serious about it.
What money?
All right. Money every fortnight, and they don't work for it.
What you say to me?
Seriously. So they normally take the parish council as their bed, their veranda, their kitchen. Yes. My neighbor.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
I'm dropping off my chair. I'm dropping out. Hold on. I'm dropping off my chair, yeah, ma'am. Hold on. You have to catch me up.
After
I want me to hear you.
done, you see, them corrupt, them connive, then do all kind of devious thing in that place. Every week, money being coming from Kingston back and forth. All right.
What the lady coming at?
There's a man there used to be named by the name of.
Oh, don't call nobody name, you ma'am.
Mr. D.
D,
right? Him know.
A dumpling, Mr. Dumpling.
Yes, when the money them come down, they have big syrup and big this and big that.
Yes.
Right? After him pass, the woman, because we were there working along with the man.
That a dumpling.
The woman come and take everything from the cage and left with stranded, with the workers stranded.
Oh, God.
And he take everything for himself.
Dumpling gone with the money.
Right. Now, dumpling gone with the money. She gone with everything.
Oh,
All right. Then there's that individual have a daughter that used to work at one of these permanent bank in Montego Bay and Falmouth.
Yes.
All right. He married with this gentleman, and the gentleman did have some buses and houses that his former wife did have. she went in the relationship and sell the pitney them house what they inherit from their mother.
What you say to me?
So he cast for her life in the church Upper Falmouth.
Oh, that lady will live in the church.
Yes.
What you say, ma'am?
He sell the vehicle them. He do all kind of manner of evil.
Mercy, Jesus.
Them PNP, there is a racket and wimp. They're wicked.
What a wimp? Hold on. What type of wimp, ma'am?
Devious.
What type of wimp? I don't hear you good. What you say, them be?
Them be racket and wimp.
Be lackit? No. Let me get it good. Be lackit? Lackit. And wimp.
Yes.
What is a lackit, man?
Because they are thieves.
What is a lackit?
They are some set of thieves.
Don't you hold on, you're going too fast. What is a lackit?
A lackit is a person who craving for money. Why is them alone to come to something?
Lackit craving for money.
Yes.
So golden is a lackit, ma'am?
Yes.
Oh Lord. Lackit golden.
Because he made the people commit suicide.
Who no?
Commit suicide for their money.
You serious about that?
Yes.
Hold on. They unalive themselves, ma'am?
Yes. Who fi drop off a building, drop off
Oh,
a building.
goodness gracious.
They ruin money because it thinks that the people and
Well, yes.
Under them things.
Under the FinSac, the people really had a bad time. There were people who committed suicide. You're right about that. Yes. Yes, ma'am. What a sad story.
So Jamaica people must wake up and smell the coffee now.
Lackit. There is a lackit, ma'am.
They must not trust the people's national
I have
party.
never heard that term
They
before.
are wicked.
Never heard it before. Lackit. Lackit PNP. Boy, I tell you.
You know it hurt.
Yes.
When people have them hard-grown cash.
Yes.
Them business.
Yes.
Them houses.
Yes, ma'am.
And at the end of the day, you take it away from them.
Yes, ma'am. Why I tell you, ma'am, what a sad
What
story.
kind of country you want? What kind of country you want rule?
Why?
And then you want to send me down this too?
What a lucky them, ma'am.
Yes, man, them two thieves.
That boy. Boy, this is Jamaica, yeah, I tell you the truth.
And it's full time for we stand up now in this country.
Where people them must sit down, ma'am.
Yes, some of them must sit down.
Well, tell them stand up on their foot.
Yes.
Yes. Tell them again, ma'am. Say, get up and turn up. I tell you. Boy. Talk to them, ma'am. Talk to them. Say they must turn up on their foot and avoid the lucky them. Because they might luck it your way with your problem.
This man, the Honorable Dr. Michael Andrew Holness, they run this country.
Yes.
He might run this country good.
Oh.
He might run this country good. And being as fit the shoes, not they can fit them foot, you know. They want to create havoc in this country, but it not go work.
They want to create what, ma'am?
Havoc.
Havoc. Okay, yes. Havoc. They want to create. So they lack it them want to create havoc.
Yes.
What a classic. You're a classic woman, you know, ma'am.
Suppose that they might win the election September gone.
One set of lucky them, ma'am. I don't know what had happened.
May I tell you, a catastrophe in Jamaica.
Yes. You sound like you're somebody with travel, ma'am. You travel abroad?
No, sir.
You've never left Jamaica?
Never, sir.
Lovely. Which parish you are at, ma'am?
Western region, sir.
Oh, lovely, ma'am. Lovely. I would love to meet you one day. You're nice.
Okay, sir.
Yes, Julian Starling. Talk about the Lockheed them. Mm. Boy, I tell you, ma'am, what a story coming out of Cooper's Pen. What a story. I tell you. What else you have to talk to me about?
That's all right, sir.
Oh, no, no, ma'am. Don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. Don't leave yet, ma'am. Tell me more about them.
I'm
Lockheed them.
here listening. I am here listening.
Oh.
I am here listening.
Yes,
sir.
but you thought you said that they lock it. They lock it. They lock the money.
Yes.
Uh-huh. You said that, ma'am. You know this is a fact in the West. You know it's a fact.
Yes, man. Yes. Yes, man. See, so the parish council used to clean by them bottom.
By them what?
Them bottom. They used to take them clothes, clean this step.
I don't understand what you mean by that.
Every night they gone on the step.
Oh,
come money running.
So when you say they clean them by them bottom, I don't understand.
They sit on the step.
Oh. Uh-huh. Well.
When you see Sam Sharp Square full.
Yes.
When you see out of the cage full. A Friday daytime.
Yes.
My God. Money come.
What a fascinating discussion this with this lady. Oh boy. 2 minutes after 11 o'clock. By the way, ma'am, you must come back. Come tell me a little bit more about the Lockheed here, yeah?
Okay, sir.
Love you a lot. Take care of yourself.
What the minister did.
You too, sir.
Yeah. Bless you, ma'am. Bless you.
They were
Oh, what a nice lady. Go ahead, sir.
fundamental. We have to find out to the people.
Yeah. By the way, put fun on joke aside. Hold on, Nathaniel. Put fun on joke aside. What we are hearing coming out of this on this interview here, it's a scandal, Nathaniel.
Not telling neighbor, so when the minister went and take out the original claimant out of the matter when the minister have nothing to do with it. That tell me, say, the minister did have another agenda. Say, anyway you take it. They was not about the people. They were planning to take away the land, sell it to the entrepreneur's friend.
Oh.
And then eventually the people will still get through by it.
Boy, it appears as if the PNP went to court and knew that the case was dead. Knew. Boy, I tell you.
They know the outcome, what the outcome will be. They know. They're just exploiting the people.
I tell you, man.
Neighbor, I want to just highlight that
yes,
the implication that this whole thing have. It doesn't only have an implication on the people that suffer with their house being demolished. It have an implication on taxpayer.
Yes.
The government
What's that?
Court and lost.
Yes.
So they would have had to pay the legal fee for Mr. Chisholm lawyer.
Yes.
We need to look on how, not in many ways, how the PNP costs Jamaicans and is always on the back of taxpayer. They knew that them not pay it out of them pocket, them are going to use taxpayer money paid, so it doesn't matter how long it drawn out for, they just want to make it convenient for these people to occupy the land that doesn't belong to them. Neighbor, me have some friends, we have some piece of land we put on, Me can't tell you. No man can even put on one ticker or one peg pan none of them. And if they're going to go see no man pan, a problem.
Yes, that is the landowners.
Me know. That island owner a problem, and no matter who. It's going to be a problem. You can't ramp with them something. So, me don't want the trivial part of it or the part that seems like it promote violence, because that's not us and that's not the Jamaica that we are in today.
Right.
We are in an eastern place, a place that we have never been before, and that's the reason why we have the gutter politics with the PNP, because we want to remain us there. You see, we have always talked about moving 1 foot forward and 2 foot backward. The PNP PNP is a stepping stone to bring us down that hill all the time. They are very good at declining, at descending. They have never ascended to progress. What they do and what we need to realize is, as taxpayer, when the PNP govern, do we get value for money? As poor people, when the PNP govern, do they help us to alleviate our lives from the lifestyle that we are living? The Prime Minister speak today about the sustainability of situations that are like this.
Yes.
How is it that it comes again to show you, say, with the decision that the PNP take to bring this matter to court for it to reach where it reached now, because it could have been done in silence.
Yes.
Could I not have been replaced and put elsewhere if the government did it the right way? But the PNP was politicizing it, playing on the emotions of the people who don't know the functions of government and the rules of law.
Yes.
And that is the problem that we suffer from. Ari said it. We're going to keep suffering from it because we always have somebody pulling against. PNP is the gravity of evil. They are pulling against the good. You are trying to do better, but every time the devil are whispering in your ears and I tell you, PNP that. That's what they are good for. They know how to work on the emotion of people, and this is the reason why the people in Cooper's Pen suffer the consequences that they suffered. And I think, I'm going to go one step further to say, neighbor, I think this call for a public inquiry.
I think so too.
It is this call for, this is because when you look at it, it is an abuse of the law by the government and by an administration. It was the same thing them I tried to say Bruce Golding did with the secret MOU when they did open our camp. Say I try to protect Dudus. When they will know, because they package it and put it in the public domain for us for people to believe that.
Yes.
It is the same thing they are doing here. It is their playbook. And they are clever at doing it, and we are to see their pattern. And we have to continue to talk about their pattern of behavior. It is the same thing, and the only policy that the pattern drives us to is to be more poorer, not to have self-ambition. We will not be self-sufficient under their policy. We will not be productive, and we will not have our country a place to live, go, and do business, and raise your family.
Miss Emily Shields from RGR had a few comments on this matter. Let's listen a little bit to her. Emily Shields, hello.
New Falmouth to stop New Falmouth taking possession from the 99 people. The court the basis on which the Minister of Housing at the time sought to get a stay and to get an injunction against New Falmouth was that the minister, after New Falmouth won in the court, the minister claimed that he declared the land to be improvement area on the Housing Act. And so he was at liberty to take over the land compulsorily. And a number of affidavits were put in. New Falmouth resisted the application, told the court of the history of the matter. And in fact, when the Minister of Housing's application went before the court, one judge heard the application, hearing only the minister's side, which is called the ex parte application, and granted the Minister of Housing an interim stay for 30 days rather, and set the application to be heard with both parties present at a later date. When the matter went at a later date with the two parties, that's Minister of Housing and New Falmouth, before another judge, the judge heard the application and the judge granted an order restraining in 2012 New Falmouth from interfering with the 99 people against whom the application was initially brought by New Falmouth. Then now, later on,
we take it a little bit from our GR, Emily Shields. She had a little to say on it, providing further context and explanation. Let's go back in to our GR.
Another application for stay of execution. And after hearing submissions from counsel for the parties, one of the judges adjourned the matter and requested either the minister or one of the people who filed an affidavit to appear. According to this history of the matter that the Honorable Mr. Justice Frank Williams gave in the Court of Appeal case, he said on the 4th of May, Justice McIntosh delivered his decision dismissing the application which was brought by the Minister of Housing. The judge says neither the minister nor Shukir appeared in court. However, the learned judge recognized the presence of officers of the Housing Agency of Jamaica, Mrs. Simone Morris Ratchery and Mrs. Janice Buchanan McLean, and handed them a copy of the orders which he made. There was no appeal from the learned judge's decision. The reasons for the learned judge's decision were contained in the formal order filed on the 18th of May 2012. And this is what the judge wrote in the formal order. It is clear from the application to stay execution. So this is when now the Minister of Housing applied to halt New Falmouth taking possession, and the court denied the minister's application. These are the reasons the judge has put out in the order. Let me take a break and come back.
Okay.
The Jamaica Civil Service.
Well, they gonna go back a little to Emily. Ian, Lord.
Yes, neighbor.
Go ahead.
Neighbor.
Go ahead, Ian.
Okay, and let me bring you back to a situation here. Yes, there are two situations. Maybe take me about 2 minutes. So let me give you the first one. Back in 2008, I was working with a jute at work company, and I used a popular restaurant on the East Strip. So we used to stop there we used to bring guests to that popular spot. But in the nights, we always wait on some of the guys who were there. When they close, we always start there playing pool and all these things. And when they close, we would normally end up in the town. There's some people always be at, they always sleep on the piers at Credit Union and in a Samshaw Square.
These are so people of unsound mind.
People of we used to think that they were unsound mind, but some of them was not. So we always bring food for them because at that
hold on.
That spot,
people with their faculties in place are sleeping on pavers.
Yeah, they're sleeping and are just hanging out there in the night. So we used to bring food for them. And I saw this lady and I was talking to the lady and I said, "Oh, you know, Matt, why are you here? Why are you here? You don't have family, you don't have..." And the lady said to me, "Let me tell you this. I used to collect. She said she lived in Providence, but she cannot afford because they were living in Barnett Lane. So the Prime Minister at the time, which was PG, take them to bring some house in Providence Heights where he take them to live. Neighbor, the rent was, I don't think the mortgage was $6,000 at the time. Men, they sell back the property and come back in the town to beg and do all kind of things. So the lady said to me, I used to collect my money at parish council, but from this wicked government coming in, that it was Bruce Golding government, I cannot go up there to collect anything anymore." And I said, "You used to work at parish council?" She said, "No, but every fortnight she used to go up there and couldn't collect her $18,000. That's what she said to me. She couldn't collect $18,000 a fortnight, and that was 2008. And she was doing all of this for a period of time. And then within 1 or 2 years after Bruce Golding coming power, she was back on the road because she couldn't pay a mortgage and she couldn't do anything. So I said, then what were you doing for these money that you were not working for? You understand? And it burned me up because I know so I couldn't give the food to somebody else at the time. I could have given them somebody else the food because she was not a person who me think she would need it, but she did not need it. So you see, all of these times, these people were just collecting money because of who they know at parish council. It even goes as far as people used to collect money and give back to other people who was at parish council. You understand?
Yes.
Going fast forward now to 2017, I started to work with a popular housing development in St. James again. And while they start building the houses for NHD, it was an NHD project. There were some people there too, house that needed to push down for the property that was there. Neighbor, these people collect millions of dollars, and instead of moving when they were just having 2-bedroom or just having a little structure with nothing, they use the same money to go 2-story, 3-story on the property that they get paid to move off. They get paid for the structure to move, to relocate, and instead of moving, they use that money that they collect to go to and that same building that they should move off on.
Yes, sir.
And we talk to them. That's the same thing they say. Oh, me talk to the councillor, and me never know say the government they won't go come in because if we did it on the land all long and then give a notice 5 weeks showing us nobody come. We use the money and go upstairs. And these are the councillor at the time that they were talking about. It's the same councillor from that party.
Mm-hmm.
The same set of MP them and the same set of councillor them from that party. And we are saying it is just, any which party is not fit for human to live. These are the places that they take people and push them. They don't matter what it takes. If even is one swamp without bathroom, without no proper living condition, they force people to live there and they say they love the people.
Yeah. What an amazing revelation coming out here in Jamaica, sir, in terms of the quality, the ideology, the care of both people, both parties, sir. The PNP is proving here to be a party of that don't really care for the people of Jamaica at all, man.
People can see that, it is not, it is something I born in the 70s, but when I look and study and think and, when you look back at time and if you are a sensible person, you can see that the destruction of the time starting from this time of year, these times in the 70s, and the mentality of the people, they drive these kind of things in the people to make them feel like, oh, whatever me work hard for. Can you imagine me out and out of work hard and I have to pay much money for PAYE, I have to pay much money for all kind of different tax. While some people just sit down and collecting, they don't pay light bill, they don't pay rent, they don't do nothing. And yet they want the government, they want me for work, pay teacher, pay police, and then end up pay them for not doing anything.
Wow.
We already pay for the part programs and all these things. And you want me to struggle down for the work. Pay my energy, can't really get a house while my you just go and want to decide so the government must give you a house.
Yeah.
While you're not contributing any at all.
Yeah, there is an argument to be made, sir, that the middle class, in many societies carry the burden. That is why I can never be a believer in what is called socialism, sir. Can't believe it.
Can never be a believer in it.
No, sir. And as a matter of fact, I would even argue that the middle class in Jamaica, sir, the middle class, you see those people who work in the middle, who get their 300,000-400,000 a month, they are the ones, sir, that get the squeeze, You know, I made a point on this program here some nights ago, and some people never like it, but I'm going to make it again because that's how it go. There are thousands of Jamaicans tonight, so that me and you are pay for them light bill, you know. Right? I pay them light bill. And some of these very people, we have to pay for their part money. We have to do everything for them, sir.
Exactly so.
And it can't continue. It can't continue, sir. Okay?
Neighbor, let me tell you this. I born and grew up in St. James.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what St. James used to be like. And we are in a situation which is not 100%, but we are getting there.
Mm-hmm.
And we are not supposed to allow nobody to let we go back to the dark days of the 2000s, the late 2000s, the late 90s coming up into the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, you know, it was after Mr. Patterson win the election and his victory speech was, remember, St. James people, I am still your prime minister and I'm going to let you suck salt out of the spoon. Oh. St. James become the murder capital of the Caribbean.
Oh.
After that speech. And that was what, 2002, 2003. And we have been recorded over 12, 14, 1,500 homicide in Jamaica. And St. James was the leader with almost sometime we could say 40%, 30% of the homicide in Jamaica.
Amazing, sir. I want to say good night to my listeners on X. Thank you so much for tuning into the Politics Matter Jamaica network, the Hello Neighbor Show. My friends on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, nice tuning in. Thank you, Ian. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
Respect.
Yeah,
okay.
Man,
I want to listen a little bit more to
Neighbor,
yes.
Before you go to that, please allow me to interrupt. For our listeners over there on X, could you please follow our page and just know that we're here Monday to Thursday at 7 p.m. Jamaican time, Fridays at 8 p.m. and Sundays at 6 p.m. So please follow us and tune in during the times we're on. Thank you much.
Very good. Thank you so much, producer. All right. So we have some of callers on TikTok, and we want to listen a little bit more to Mrs. Shields. Can we take the callers first or what? Laura, hi. Hello. Hello. Oh, she's gone. Let's go into Miss Shields.
The Court of Appeal recites as the reasons Justice McIntosh dismissed the Minister of Housing's application for a stay of a judgment previously given in favor of New Falmouth. And the court also dismissed the Minister of Housing's application for an injunction to stop New Falmouth from removing the residents from 2010.
I need you to look at your phone for like 2 minutes.
All right. So we're trying to pick up a little bit of what Miss Emily Shields is saying. A little break in that. Let's see if we can go back in. Here's Miss Shields.
This is what the judge said. It is clear from the application to stay that it is intended to be an indefinite one, as there is no indication of a date or period for allowing the claimants to have the fruits of the judgment or award handed down in their favor. In other words, whatever it is the Minister of Housing said it was intending to do, there was no period by which it was indicated it's going to be done, and that indefinite nature, it allowed for some relation, some uncertainty about by when New Falmouth could have the benefit of the judgment that New Falmouth had. 2, The presence of legal officers from the housing agency may be intended to suggest to the court that the government is taking actual and immediate steps to assist the parties in a mutually beneficial settlement. 3, actually this is stated as 5, so it's 3, 4, 5. I suppose 1 and 2 were not that material, so the Court of Appeal judge didn't cite them. Given the history of this case, the length of the trial, and the efforts made by the court to assist the defendants there are the people who possess the land. Let me read it again. This is what the judge said. Given the history of the case, the length of the trial, and the efforts made by the court to assist the defendants who seem to have been misled by politicians into squatting on private property, notwithstanding their unlawful act.
Okay, so we actually went through that on the nationwide interview with George Davis. So we can move on. Okay.
Mr. Neighbor.
Yes, sir. All right, go ahead.
I'm begging you a little of your time. I have 3 things here to say before I go.
Yes, please.
And I would like to hear Harry's rebuttal on this. 1, I would like to hear from the minister, Dr. Morris Guy, his part. And 2,
yes,
I would want to use this forum to ask Mr. Isat Buchanan to resign from his position. And
hold on. Why you are asking for Mr. Buchanan's resignation now?
Neighbor, you know, hear the man say put foot on government neck.
Oh, yes. Well, the Jamaica Labour Party to this evening put out a statement for his resignation. I agree with you.
Imagine that, neighbor. You remember the last foot go on somebody neck? What happened?
Ah, boy, I don't even want to remember that. But let me put this to you.
As a legislator, you go say put foot on government. No, come on, man.
True, sir. You remember Mr. Dennis Meadows, sir?
Yes, sir.
You remember that Mr. Meadows was asked to resign for similar comments?
Yes, sir.
And you remember what Mr. Mark Golding said at the time?
About the integrity.
Yes, sir. You remember what he said?
Not fully in words, but I can say some of it.
I'm gonna play it for you. I'm gonna play it for you and the listeners what Mr. Mark Golding said about integrity and upholding integrity. But you have a third point, sir. You have a third point?
Mr. Mario Mitchell, too, sir.
Uh-huh.
I'm asking him to resign, too, sir, with his delay tactics. Because
yes.
You see where the delay tactics is coming from, neighbor?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah. Well.
Thank you very much, sir, for a great show.
Nice. Take care of yourself.
Respect, man.
Bless you. All right. Who else do we have? Dale Ton Brown. Good night to you. Dale Ton. Hello? Dale Ton? No. We don't have Dale Ton. Hello? Okay. Let's go into Member Harry then. So Member?
Yes, neighbor.
Well, Member, interesting days ahead as this case unfolds. The whole Jamaica is no doubt talking about it, and therefore I expect discussions will continue going into the weekend and into Monday. But at this point, Member, just sum up what we have heard coming from nationwide and give the listeners a perspective as to exactly where this matter is now.
Sure, neighbor. Well, the whole thing of it, listeners, neighbor, is that the Minister of Housing at the time attempted to circumvent a ruling from the court to try and take the land from Mr. Chisholm, who is the legal and lawful owner of the land, in order to, I don't want to say forego, but to push the agenda of the politics and act on the ignorance of the very people who would have illegally become habitats of the land. However, as the law stood its ground, neighbor, we're seeing where justice would have been served for Mr. Chisholm, again, who is the legal and rightful owner, and not to push the agenda of what we call squatters' rights, because I still don't believe in that thing. And what we see coming out is almost a form of debauchery when it comes on to moving and using state powers, neighbor, for political gains from the People's National Party. What we're seeing, and in terms of the details from the court, is that the individuals, all 99 persons of them, were to pay over a sum of $50,000 to Mr. Chisholm, and also at the time remove any infrastructure that was erected. Unfortunately, none of those two things were done. And due to the ignorance, the People's National Party then attempted to weaponize the Housing Act to try and push a political agenda, neighbor, to get these persons on their sides, very well knowing that there's no way that they were ever going to be successful in trying to take land that was legally owned by somebody who the court has made an outright ruling, and as such they have attempted to corrupt or a level of, as in Isat words, for try and chop the judicial system.
Wow.
Right? And that is scandalous, both from an individual standpoint and also from a state standpoint, neighbor. And if I want to double down to say, from the political viability of a political party, it is beyond scandalous. And as such, the People's National Party, both then and now, owes it to the people of Jamaica to come out and issue first, neighbor, a public apology. And then, if it all goes well, somebody needs to be held accountable for the attempt of this. Now, I know people want Isat to resign and so on. I think we're beating a dead horse, neighbor.
Why would we be beating a dead? You don't support that call?
Because that will get you nowhere. The onus and where we should be looking at is the party leader, Mark Jefferson Golding. And why I say this, neighbor? Because he has gone down there with the two persons who have made chopping comments.
And one of them was removed.
Exactly. Right? Now, why I say Mark Golding, neighbor, because we know everything them call for Andrew. If anything happen, them say Andrew this. If a Jamaica Labour Party person get a ticket, them say Andrew. Right? We know the narrative around it. But why I'm looking at Mark Golding is that every single scandalous stories with the facts where his members have faltered, where his party has faltered, he has shun away from the responsibility as an actual leader. Neighbor, if a dog bites you, you don't necessarily have any qualms with the dog. You go and find the owner. The owner for the dog in this story, and I don't care who want to take it anyway, I'm being very generous too. The owner for the dog in this story is Mark Golding. And he does not have any right to be shying away from the scenes and taking accountability for his member that sits beneath him. He needs to show us again, neighbor, the type of leader that he wants to be for the Jamaican people. Again, Mark missed the mark.
Yes.
And clearly Mark can't shoot straight, neighbor. Right? Because every single time you get an opportunity to stand on your integrity, to stand for justice and what is right,
You circumvent it by keeping your mouth shut and to go around stories and not even an attempt to put a spin on issues of this nature. Not even that he could have done. But you want to run on the ticket, say you're integrity boss. You are no boss.
Oh.
You can't even lead those who are beneath you. You're a sorry story.
Oh God.
For an attempted leader.
That is gold. That is golden.
Mark Golding, you are weak. You are not befitting for office. And you should remove yourself, not just from the ballot, but from the political arena of ever presenting yourself to attempt to lead Jamaica as a nation that is looking to stand on its feet again in the right direction. And you have no right to ever mention the word integrity anywhere close to your name in any sentence, because you don't stand for that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I tell you the truth, I can't disagree with you at all, because when I listen to the previous matter with the one with Mr. Meadows, listen to it. Listen to it.
The People's National Party (PNP) has removed Dennis Meadows as its caretaker candidate for Northern Trelawney Division. This following remarks from Mr. Meadows recently endorsing scamming. This is a video which landed Dennis Meadows in hot water with the PNP.
Especially when you call themselves chopper. Let me tell you straight up. And he can speak openly. I have no problem with a man if he want chop. Because then chop us during slavery. So nothing wrong if we chop them up. My only problem with the chopping is when you bingo and you score. Use the money wisely. Set up yourself. Open a business. Make sure mommy look good. Make sure your baby mother look good. But don't take the money and use anything and wash car.
24 hours later, he's got the boot.
We've had discussions around the matter. The fact that open support was given for what is criminal conduct, and even a recommendation was made as to what they should do with the illicit proceeds. We are of the opinion that we could have come to no other decision but to make a change in the candidates.
In a statement this morning, Party President Mark Golding says Mr. Meadows' continuation as the candidate is untenable in light of his remarks. He says scamming is one of Jamaica's most serious national security challenges. To other PNP members, Mr. Golding said, "Let this precedent be a warning." He said, quote, "We are demanding higher standards of accountability. Jamaica will no longer tolerate weak, unprincipled leaders who say one thing but do another. Jamaicans deserve better, and I will give it to them," end of quote. Mr. Meadows yesterday apologized for the comments and acknowledged it was out of place. Mr. Meadows resigned from the JLP in March 2022. He joined the PNP in October of that year.
Well, that's background story. So there you have it, member Harry. The party at that time moved swiftly in 24 hours and removed Mr. Meadows. Why have the party not done the same thing now?
Because the presidents died after that statement was made.
Oh,
And the subtle message being sent now to the people of Jamaica, right? Because that was in an election time. You need to say what you need to say. But it goes to show that Mark Golding is not only weak, but he's not somebody you can take his word. And the senator, what was his name again? Not Christian Tavares, Abka, said it best, neighbor. You cannot take anything that comes out of that man's mouth. Neighbor, Mark Golding, in the favorite word of Katie Knight, right? Mark Golding is pathologically mendacious at the highest level. And it seems to be that maybe because he's getting up in age, he's forgetting the things he stood on.
Oh.
Is it a situation now because it is not a public election that is coming around, but a party internal election that he wants to not give Isat the vote because his re-election as the party leader depends on Isat Buchanan's vote?
Well, Mark will have some questions to answer.
So I want to put it to all of the PMP them neighbor who run with it to say, Mark the integrity boss, come and defend it. Not tonight, because we'll soon close off the show.
Yes.
Come and defend it every and any night. And I'm calling for one specific person, neighbor. A man who who stands on to say he's a man of God.
Oh.
Mr. Perry. To come here. I want him to deliver the message.
Yes.
I'm prepared to speak to him on this.
Uh-huh.
Because he's been the bravest of the bunch. Right? He's an independent thinker as he puts it. I want him to come and defend this. No.
Lucid.
To let us see if the word integrity has a new meaning.
Yeah. All right, member. Let's give Rick Trigger a couple of minutes. Mr. Trigger, hi. Hello? No. Hello, Mr. Rick Trigger. Not there. Matsik?
Neighbor.
Okay, we have Rick Trigger. Rick Trigger, you have a few minutes. Go ahead.
Right, I was trying to get onto your program last night, but because such a huge star, boy, it is very difficult to get on here on the straight line like Mr. Henrique is beside me here. I'm mad sick. Can get on to your program?
Yeah, well, I tell you, yeah, they do.
Gentlemen, big up yourselves.
Yes.
But it is a sad day. You see what's going on there in Jamaica.
Uh-huh.
Very sad day. Where people are squatting. When you are squatting on people's premises, you have those who support to be who are elected lawmakers are now contriving with the people to be lawbreakers. In the case of Mr. Buchanan, we is the voice of civil society right now when he made such a disparaging, just to put it nicely, statement tell people to perform criminal activities against the government, put your neck on the government, put on the government's neck. And you don't hear a word out of civil society, you don't hear a word out of the churches.
Well, boy.
There are morals, there are concerns, it is really sad. And I'm going to tell you something with the PNP now. It is just like a piece of history repeating itself where back in the day where a man have 2 cars, if they were told, neighbor forget one. If you have 2 cows, Henrique is to get one. Or Henrique is to go and take one. Or if you have 2 houses, one, they must give one other person the other. Come on, man. We have to move away from that. And PMT is the pestilence that need to be removed from Jamaica. And I will still say it that way. I can't cut the material up here tonight. Just going to say it. I thank you for the moment, my brother.
My brother, thank you.
Gentlemen, pick up yourselves.
Right.
Ring trigger?
Yes.
We don't have anything called civil society anymore in Jamaica. We have hidden political people behind the framework of civil society.
You know, man, but we just have to say that I'm still a weird badge of civil society. With weird badge of PNP behind. Look at that.
Yeah.
Not even the church that we should expect morals from is stand up for morals these days.
Rap for us, Matsik. We're gonna have to run. Rap for us.
Yes, my boss. So I agree with everything that said. PNP is the pestilence. They are the disease that infect us. And it's a disease that we are having in Jamaica when we're still in the type of mindset where we have, and we need a cure for it.
Yes.
It is. Yes. We need a cure for it, and we have to continue to spread the truth, because PNP will not stop at anything to lie, deceive, manipulate, and use the population for its own political purpose and political goals. Especially Mark Golden when I have Jamaica interests at heart. He doesn't make any effort to show that he cares. He is not a leader. He's a follower. You see what happens? They reach to the stage where they can't, as I said before, they reach to the stage where they can't find their way in the arms of Jamaicans. So they have to come up with anything that would make them seem popular. And that's why he will not hold Isat Buchanan accountable in spite of the fact that he has sanctioned Dennis Meadows. He went and he was shoulder to shoulder with them, playing politics with the life and the demise of those who were suffering. After they have brought them into further sufferation when they realize that an independent body from the government made a decision that they cannot overrule. They try to insert themselves, exacerbating the situation, making it worse. And the whole world is now talking about it just because of the PNP. And as I said, I think this called for a public inquiry, and our government should move forward.
Thank you so much, Matsik. That's going to have to do it for us tonight. YouTube, what a great week. What a great program. What a great show. Thank you so much for staying with us. We've been here since 8 o'clock, and we have to run now. You hear? So until you join us Sunday, I think Sunday. I'm not so sure about tomorrow, but we'll see what can happen if we get the authorization to come through. We will have to come through and continue the work for you. Please remember, we're here Monday to Thursday, 7 to 10. Fridays we start at 8 o'clock, and on Sunday we have the Sunday review. Your support is always welcome, and we encourage you to support the program with your gifts, no matter how small it is. The Zelle account is going across your screen, and on behalf of Caroline, Scratchy, Harry, Matsik, all of our supporters, I want to thank you for staying tuned to us tonight. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for supporting the program. I want to encourage you also to subscribe to the channel and also to watch the videos when they are posted. And when you watch, please do not skip the ads. That's how the program helps itself, okay? So I want to thank you again for tuning into the program, and until we join you next time, this is your host, Hello Neighbor, signing off and saying to you, have a great night. Look forward to your support. Look forward to hearing from you. All right? Thank you, and bye-bye. Bye-bye to X, bye-bye to Facebook, bye-bye to all of my listeners. Take good care. All right.